Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the StarCraft Evolution League SCL week number 6, the final week before the Fall Championship. I'm of course your live VIP with me. I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to your bi-weekly dose of StarCraft Evolution. StarCraft, again, welcome. This is a mod, of course. This is not the base game. This is not StarCraft 2. This is StarCraft Evolution. It is a merging, a melding of both StarCraft 2 and Brood War. Welcome one and all to the debut even of one of our players. Spawning in the right-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss. He has never played this game mode before. He has not even played any custom games. Best of luck, as it is Geralt, the Streamer Zone. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Representing himself, also representing the Brood War Zerg race, it is Rumia. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Get your gambler going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Rumith, I would say, is coming in as the heavy favorite. Geralt is, of course, a very strong contender in the European region when it comes to Protoss and SC2. But what about StarCraft Evolution? That is the thing. Again, he has never played this game mode before. I'm sure he has watched. I'm sure he has tuned in. I'm sure he is somewhat aware of the game mode. But when it comes to playing it firsthand, that is something that Geralt is unfamiliar with. So he's going to have to try to play on the fly. Learn on the fly, even. For now, we do see him just being as annoying as possible, just trying to force him into efficient mining. We do see Rumith going hatch first, hatch gas pool, standard opener out of our Brood War Zerg player. Meanwhile, Geralt doing the same, just going for a gate expand. So far, just a standard build standard opener. Wouldn't be surprised if Geralt were to open up and go into something like a Stargate, into Oracle, into Harass in the early game. But we'll see if he can contend against the early Hydra production of Rumith. Oh boy. For those that are curious, the go-to composition of this matchup is typically laying a Hydra into Lurker from the side of Brood War Zerg, and the reason why I say early Hydra is because the Hydra Den does not require a lair. A lair is not required. A hatchery is all you need. Lurker tech is lair tech, true, that is true, but Hydra tech is hatch tech. So typically you do go early Hydras here when it comes to the brutal race. Meanwhile, the probe still being annoying is going to be sent away. Yep, second gas already being taken very quickly. What do you do with extra gas? I mean, you can go into an earlier lair or again into earlier Hydra den. So Rumith, he's just working through his build. Again, Rumith is very experienced. He's one of the stronger Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. I would say Rumith is top 3. When I think of the top Zerg players, I think of Shin, I think of 3 Point, and then I think of Rumith right behind them. And there it is. There's that Hydra den. Hydra den is on the way. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have Geralt just getting into his own Stargate opener, as we did mention. But again, Stargate play, how effective is it going to be here against these early Hydras? Bearing in mind that a big reason why Hydras are hatch tech is no queens, right? There's no queens to defend. Spore crawlers are also stationary. They do not uproot. They cannot re-burrow. So spores are also, in some sense, less mobile, less effective. Meanwhile, the Adept does arrive. One drone goes down. Already some good damage dealt here by Geralt to the workers that have to be pulled away. And Hydras, they're in production. But they need a couple more seconds. To pop out. Oh, another drone will fall. Yeah, nice pick up. 2 workers do get picked up here. Can we get a third? Oh, can we get a fourth? Uh-oh. There we go. Do have the Spore Trick to save that final drone, but that's still 3 worker kills. Hydras, they have arrived. They will zone away the Adepts, but that is still a good amount of damage, and the Adept is still alive. Still busting into the main, getting another drone. 4 drone kills already. Very nice damage, getting almost up to 5. Oh, 5 drones? 6? 7? Oh my god, this is too much. This is just far too much at this point. Punishing Rumith for not making any lings. And 0 ling production, 8 drone kills. That is insane. And Geralt isn't done. He's moving out with an Oracle as well. Moving out with an Oracle towards that third. No spore colonies in position. Just 1 here at the natural, and even then is a creep colony. But Rumith, he doesn't care. He's moving out across the map. He's rallying every single Hydra here to break the natural. There's nothing to kill. There's no drones. Ooh, they do transfer over. Workers now saturating. Hydra's going for the Cyber Core. Warp Gate is not done. Uh-oh. Warp Gate is barely not done. And this is the purpose of the fast Hydra den. This is why there's no ling speed. This is why there's no lings. Pure Hydra will knock down the Cyber Core. Oh, there's the overcharge. Overcharge just in time. Void Ray has arrived. It can be focused down out of range of the overcharge. Ooh, Void Ray falls. 5 more drones go down across the map to the Oracle. And it looks like Warp Gate can it finish? It's going to be close. It might not actually. Overcharge runs out. Shield batteries are on the way, but it looks like the Cyber Core is about to go down. And Warp Gate is denied. Massive pickup. Oh my god. Warp Gate is denied. That means, oh, no reinforcements. You have to make units 1 at a time. The boys are being pulled. There's 1 Stalker, there's 1 Adept. And it looks like Rumith has done it. Looks like he has broken the natural. Geralt, he's trying to stabilize. He's supply block. No! He's supply. Now breaking out. Losing all these probes. But the Sunset Micro is on point here for Rumith. Getting 8 probe kills. Shield batteries are repowered. Some of the gateways as well, but the gateway goes down just in time. Void Ray's on the way, but against Mass Hydra, what's a Void Ray gonna do? Not much. As every single probe is going down. Rumith again breaking that natural. There's 1 Stalker remaining. There's a backup gateway on the way behind the natural. Still in production. The 1 Stalker doing what it can. Void Ray has arrived. Trying to get within range of the... Oh no! There's the overcharge. Oh my god. The power of the overcharge. Geralt, he's holding. He's barely holding on. Behind this Rumith, it's still just rallying across the map. Now droning. He's now making some workers. Now droning up. Has he done enough damage? That's the question. I mean, delaying Warp Gate is pretty huge, and he can still kill his opponents. It's still just 2 units. Overcharge now on cooldown. Does Rumith have enough Hydras? Once again, the boys are being pulled away, actually. Oh, there we go. They used the buffer. Again, that kiting is going to be good enough. Takes down every single worker here at the natural base. Another Void Ray has arrived. Stalker goes down. 1 Void Ray left. Geralt, he's doing what he can with what little he has, but it's just 1 Void Ray. Dark Shrine on the way. Let's go. Unfortunately, Overlords are detectors. Overlords, I believe they are still detectors here in SC Evo for the Brood Lords Zerg race, so yeah, it's going to be a little bit less effective. As Hydras, they commit here on top of the Void Ray. Not the best initial engagement. There's the overcharge. Void Ray will win this fight. Hydras are going to have to back off. Waddling into the main. Nice around here. Hydras are cleaned up, but they get 18 probe kills. And again, behind this, Rumith has been droning. He's been droning us. He's been saturating his bases. Settling into a longer game state. Macro hatch is on the way. Rumith is getting supply blocked, and I mean, Geralt, he has potential for counterattack, that is true, but he's got a lot of work to do. He's got DTs, he's got Adepts, he's got Void Rays. Can they bring it all together? How many Hydras does it defend? Only 3. Uh-oh. Lurker tech is in production here, but only 3 Hydras. Yo, Geralt, he can pull this off. He can pull this off. Gets 1 Hydra. There's 2 left. Uh-oh. Yeah, 2 remaining. Adepts they can commit. More Hydras on the way. 1 Hydra left. Down to 0. 0 Hydras. Now we have the DT on one side. We have Adepts on the other. Oof. Workers are going down. 1 Void Ray falls. Massive pickup. But again, Geralt, he's getting damage done. Unfortunately, Geralt, he's all in. He's trading well, but he needs more. He needs to get more done. Again, that 1 DT still is going to fall. Again, Overlords are all you need to detect. Void Ray goes out, Adepts are cleaned up, and Rumith holds. It was a lot of chaos. It was not an efficient trade for Rumith, but he does hold on. Does survive, still has a worker lead. Geralt is catching up. When the DTs, they do rotate around. And again, there's not much at home to defend. There is a Spine Crawler or a Sunken Colony here at the natural. So there is static defense. DTs, they split off. They get spotted. No Sunken Colony here at the third. Likewise, none in the main. Uh-oh. Yeah, drones are going down. Hydras, they race back home. Again, they should clean up at least 1 DT. Oh, I say that. Oh, he's getting away. Barely does get away. Meanwhile, the main, likewise cleaned up. Rumith does defend, but he loses 7 drones, and Geralt, he's recovering. Now, the one downside for Geralt, even though the worker counts look similar, that is true. Like, Geralt, he's looking similar here when it comes to his economy. The downside, though, is the tech. What I mean by that, Lair is done. Gases are taken of Rumith. He has Lurker tech. He can morph in Lurkers, and I don't think Geralt has the answer to Lurker. That's the problem here. Like, that's the outcome of Geralt taking all that damage early on, is him falling behind tech-wise. Bay's on the way, that is true for Colossus and Disruptor. Stalkers, they can't really hold their own against this massive wave of Hydra. And Geralt, he has to buy time. He has to buy time for a Colossus or a Disruptor. Rumith coming in for a surround. Let's go. He's coming in, but does come in from behind. Ooh, catches out the Stalkers. 1 Stalker left. Now here comes the push. I mean, Rumith does have Lurker tech, but it doesn't even need them. Just pure Hydra. I mean, at this point, again, there's barely an army here for Geralt. Doesn't really have much left over. Hydras, they hit the third. They force a cancel. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a cancel. Disruptors all the way. The first Disruptor will arrive. Never goes off, but won't quite connect. Zones the army back. And I mean, sure, Geralt, he was able to hold against the first wave, the first push, but here against the second, no shot. Robo gets depowered. Hydras, they bust into the mineral line. There's going to be 1 Nova in a couple of seconds, but not fast enough. GG. And Rumith will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Let's go. I see I'm catching up in the chat. But yes, as we did mention, Overlords, they are detectors. Overseers are not a thing in Brood War. There's no such thing as an Overseer. So Overlords are all that you need to detect. As we saw, despite that, I mean, there were times where there wasn't any attacking units in position to defend. So even if there was detection, like the DTs were still getting damage done. So it was impressive that Geralt was able to get as much damage as he did and survive as well. But again, it was an all-in. It was an all-in, and Geralt, he wasn't too familiar with it. I mentioned before, this is the first time that Geralt is playing this mod. This is the first time he's playing SC Evolution, so when it comes to reading builds and even being aware of army compositions, is something that Geralt's, I mean, over time a player would get used to, right? Over time a player would be more aware of and refine their builds. I'll be honest, Geralt, he played that out like a regular ZVP in StarCraft 2. that was like a regular ZVP build from Geralt, did look just like something, you know, like a StarCraft 2 game, but he wasn't aware that a Hydra all-in was coming, and as a result was unprepared. For it. Despite that, I mean, he still had a really clutch hold. Like, remember, like he was barely holding on with his Void Rays with like 1 or 2 Stalkers. If he was able to get shield batteries earlier, then he would have saved the Cybercore. 100%. If you remember, the shield batteries were late, and the Cybercore was barely sniped in time before Warp Gate. Like, having Warp Gate would have made that defense far more easier for Geralt. But if you remember, it was denied, Cybercore went down, and he just couldn't reinforce. Which is why he held insanely well with like 2 units. With once, imagine if he had like 4. Like, imagine if he could warp in. Crazy. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the typically Protoss player, but now he is the Brood War Terran, the Polish Terran. It is Geralt. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Ooh. Once again, now going to be playing StarCraft 2 Zerg. It is...
paused.
Have a bit of a pause. All good. Get back into it. Hopefully everything's okay. I would not be surprised if Geralt is fixing hotkeys. I would not be surprised if he's just sorting out some hotkeys here. As I'm sure, again, he's still very unfamiliar with StarCraft Evolution. I see someone asking in the chat. I thought I saw him play before. I did ask him because I wasn't too certain, and Geralt did confirm that this is his first time playing. Yeah, there's the hotkey. Yeah. So Geralt did confirm that this is his first time playing, and here we go. We have the Korean Zerg player, Rumia. Here we go. I do know there are some other Polish Protoss players that have played. I'm referring to Ziomek. Ziomek has played before. Also a Polish player from Poland. And maybe Rodzin. I know at least Ziomek for sure. Maybe Rodzin. Regardless, from here is just going to be a standard opener by our Zerg player, Hatch Gas Pool by our StarCraft 2 Zerg. Meanwhile, I'm curious how our Brood War Terran player plays this out. I'm curious how much Geralt has played. I mean, clearly he didn't have his hotkey set up, so so I don't know how much I expect, but that's also why I'm excited. You know, like I don't know where to place my expectations for Geralt's Brood War race, so I'm ready to be introduced to it. I'm ready to be excited and to see him pop up. I'm ready for it. But now single gas opener, so it's going to be a Rax expand for Geralt. Geralt does at least off-race quite a bit of Terran in StarCraft 2, so I mean, you know, maybe some of that will translate over. Again, I did mention that I'm sure Geralt does has watched some SC Evo in the past, which is what has, you know, given him some interest in playing and competing. And there it is, the Academy has been thrown down. So for those who are curious, for Brood War there are no add-ons, right? In a way, there's no add-ons. So there's no like Tech Lab for Stim. You do need the Academy instead for those bio upgrades to work towards Stim and everything else. Geralt is building up. Also, winding it back to the last game, I also want to praise Geralt for his unit control. Like, even though he wasn't aware of the build and the build of the all-in that was coming his way, remember, he killed like, what was that, 8 drones with his first 2 adepts, like, and then to follow up 5 drones with the Oracle. Like, he crippled the economy of Rumia very well with his initial unit control and with his initial build. Again, it was just a follow-up that he wasn't too familiar with. And with that, we're settling in. Now that the Academy is done, that does mean that you can morph in Fire Bats. So we do have an initial Fire Bat here from Geralt. For those that are curious how Bio works against Ling Bane SC2, we do see a lot of Marine Medevac Fire Bat. Fire Bats, they do an amazing job at tanking. They also do splash damage as well. I would argue that they're probably better than Marauders when playing against Ling Bane, so they do have their place. But we don't see it too often just because we don't see Bio too often against StarCraft 2 Zerg. I mean, we don't see much StarCraft 2 Zerg, period, I'll be honest. If you've been watching StarCraft Evolution, you would know that the most prolific Zerg player in StarCraft Evolution is 3Point, and 3Point, whenever he can, he plays Brood War Zerg. He rarely, or he often avoids playing StarCraft 2 Zerg. Often does pick Brood War instead. Here we go, Lings are moving out. You see Geralt just fortifying his forces, just building up back at home, consolidating his army. Additional fire bats. And getting into the rest of his Raxes as well. Now, what I find interesting is that, okay, Stim is done. Stim has completed even. Geralt is already moving out. Bold move. I mean, Stim is done. He has the one medic, but Rumieth behind this, he's not playing Lingbane. He's going to be getting into Roach play. Roaches are already in production, just in time. Queens are amassing as well. Geralt is pushing in, but the Roaches, they will pop out. Yeah, just in time for the push. They have arrived. They go for the Firebat. Firebat goes down. He gets one, he gets two. And Geralt is going to be forced back. The plus side of this move out is that this did hit so much faster than something like a Hellbat all-in StarCraft 2, but as we saw here, the Roaches, they were ready for this, they shut it down. If there weren't any Roaches, this could have done much more damage. But Rumieth does hold. And now he has momentum, and now Geralt's in trouble. Geralt, he is in trouble, he has to kite back. Medevac gets started down. Medic even gets started down. And behind this, no bunker. There is no bunker. There are no tanks either. There's no defensive setup. Without tanks, without bunkers, without any SimCity here, I'm worried. I'm worried for Geralt. So the Ravagers are morphing in. Rumieth, he's not droning. He's not droning up. He's going for a Ravager Ling all in. He's going to be sending everything across the map to break this position. Firebat's on the way. Geralt, he does stim back. Other miles. Oh my god, they take down one of the Vultures. But the Lings are being cleaned up. The boys were pulled. A nice defense here, a nice cleanup here by Geralt. Very nicely done. Didn't lose any SCVs, or maybe lost one. So very nice crisis management here by Geralt. Losing the bare minimum. He does survive. But what comes next? That is what I'm concerned by, and that is what I'm also interested by here, as the factories are just now getting their own machine shops to try to work towards, I imagine, tank production and upgrades. I'm referring to spider mines or siege mode. I'm curious where Geralt takes this and what kind of composition he does commit to. We shall see. Behind this, Rumieth, he backs off, he's droning, he's down in workers. Remember, Rumieth, he committed to an all-in to try to punish Geralt, and it didn't work. Did not work, so Geralt, he survives, he fortifies himself, he's building up. Got a random Wraith on the way. Let's go. That's a shunt to, like, hunt down Overlords, I guess. So he's moving out to hunt down those Overlords. Yeah, tank production has begun. I'm hoping that Geralt is aware that he would have to invest into siege mode. Again, I don't know how familiar Geralt is with the mod. Third CC's on the way. Wraith checks, no saturation here at the third. I mean, that is a tell. Rumieth, he is not making drones, he's making roaches. And that should be a sign here for Geralt to get ready back at home. As still no droning. Still nothing but roaches. Looks like Rumieth is going for a second all-in. Lings, they poke in at the front door. Ooh, now a gas is being taken. Now Rumieth is droning. These are late. These are late drones for Rumieth. He invested quite heavily into this Roach army, and because Rumieth is now droning, it looks like Rumieth was expecting a move out and maybe expecting aggression, so he was getting ready for a counterattack. He only droned up somewhat though. He only saturated the gas geyser. Still no saturation here at the third, so Rumieth, it looks like it's still an all-in. Otherwise, would there be drones here? So, still an all-in. Scans, they check the natural. There we go. The scan at the third should confirm. And Geralt should be aware. And I would love to see some bunkers. Not gonna lie. Did he research siege mode yet? I don't think he had. No, he has not. No. I mean, he doesn't have many tanks to begin with, so I guess that wouldn't be too impactful. But I do worry. We have some Goliaths on the way. I think we have a third Goliath as well. Yo, Geralt, he's mixing in a bit of everything. Like, okay, there we go. Now siege mode is in production. Now, what I'm worried about here is that Geralt, he didn't research spider mines. So, despite having all these vultures, spider mines would be actually really good. A really good setup here to defend. But he never researched it. Now he's working towards siege mode for his tanks. I'm loving the random Goliaths. Let's go. And Rumieth, he backs off. He sees the army. Rumieth, he doesn't like his chances. Now he drones. And now I have to give the edge to Geralt. I have to. Just because, again, this droning from Rumieth is so late. It's just such late saturation for the Zerg player. Rumieth a little bit indecisive with how he wanted to approach this. You know what it is? The Goliath scared him. It's like, this guy's crazy. What's going on? As Geralt is pushing forward, siege mode has completed. And now Rumieth up against the wall. Can Geralt break through? Yeah, I mean, there's not many Ravagers. They're coming in for a surround. They're coming in for a flank. One tank goes down. And it looks like Rumieth may just barely have enough. Yeah, he takes down both tanks, gets on top of the third tank as well. All three tanks go down. And Geralt, he has to back up. He was hoping for a better fight. The concave did help so much there for Rumieth. The pseudo surround. Oh, and Geralt, he's losing almost everything here. Oof. Another reinforcing tank, and another. And both tanks fall. Rumieth, he holds. And that was the plus side of Rumieth not droning for so long, is that Rumieth had a massive army, right? Like, he was setting up for an all-in that he didn't commit to, but he had a massive army anyway, so he was ready for a fight. Now droning up towards the end, taking up into Hive Tech, Ultra Caverns on the way. But Rumieth at this point might just be able to keep on pushing. Might just keep on going from here. This is also where I have to question Geralt for moving out, because remember, he's scared. He saw the lack of droning, which should have been a sign for Geralt not to push, because, I mean, that would have told him that Lava, of course, was being spent on an army, not on an economy. Geralt, he could have taken it slow from there, but last he committed to a fight, and, I mean, we see the outcome of that. Geralt, he's now stuck on 2 bases, mining out his main. And Rumieth is free to drone, free to take bases, free to tech. We do have all the Hive upgrades on the way, Adrenal, Ultra Cavern. Rumieth can just chill and max out. Like, there's no reason for Rumieth to push into the natural. And I mean, you wouldn't want to into all these tanks. But there's no reason to push in. He can just chill out, back off, and max. And Rumieth just has to wait for his opponent to expand and take a third. Speaking of, third base now being taken, drop load into the main. Going for a roach drop, going for the tanks. Ooh, won't quite get them though. Nice pick up. Geralt does defend. Rumieth, he does see the CC. Geralt, he's double expanding. Getting his third and fourth at the same time. He does desperately need at least one of these bases fully operational. Does need one. Just being knocked down. They're basically saturated. You can see how heavily oversaturated Geralt is. But he's expanding. I would have liked to have seen Rumieth drone up harder. You can see Rumieth, he's on 71 drones. I feel like you could have gone up to 80 at this point, and then just embrace ultra production. But Rumieth isn't quite there yet. Ultras are on the way, don't get me wrong. But Rumieth is still building up, going for more dropper lords. Meanwhile, Geralt, he is now setting up there. This is a Terran setup. We got tank lines. Now we have finally some bunkers on the way as well. I would have liked to have seen this set up earlier, and just more defensive play from Geralt. Now he's forced into it. Here we go, Rumieth dropping into the main. Those high ground tanks are exposed. Big tank police here, but it's also forcing friendly fire. High ground tanks going down. Ultras pushed into a choke point. Ultras will be cleaned up. Not a bad concave here out of Geralt on the Biles. Oh my god, they say, oh, 3 tanks! 3 tanks go down to the Biles. Ay, ay, ay. And Geralt holds, but that was a costly hold. A lot of tanks went down. It was the 3 tanks that we saw get biled. It was 2 tanks on the high ground. Rumieth, he rotates over. Denies mining at the 4th. Doesn't kill too many SCVs. Geralt is still on 67 workers. With Rumieth, he can back off. Now he's up to 80 workers. Now he can focus on just remaxing. His goal here, just remax, rebuild, and just keep pushing forward, keep trying to break the 3rd and 4th over and over and over again, and eventually just overwhelm Geralt. That is going to be the plan. Geralt getting into some science vessel production. Of course, can get into Irradiate. That will help against the, I mean, all things Zerg. All the bio units. Ultra drop, let's go. Got the quadruple ultra drop making its way in. Tanks are on siege. Lings, they flood in. Ooh, and they get a full surround. So many tanks go down. Yeah, I think one tank out of the 5 was Siege. Not like this. Ultras a breakthrough. And it looks like Rumiath has done it. GG, good luck, it's called. And Rumiath will take game number 2 and the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Rumiath for taking the series and for taking the 2-0, but a shout out to Geralt because again, this was his first time competing, his first time playing the StarCraft Evolution mod. There is some pretty tough competition, especially this far into the lifespan of StarCraft Evolution. Now we have these kind of more established players and established meta, established builds, so kind of jumping in head first from the side of Geralt is not an easy thing to do, but we did appreciate it nonetheless. And again, like, he still, of course, his skills from SC2 still did translate over to SC Evo, but when it comes to some other things, some other strategic knowledge, or even just build orders and compositions and timings, something like that is still something that has to be learned over time, just by experiencing and practicing and taking part in these events and in custom games and in practice and all that stuff. Regardless, GG well played. Shout out to Geralt and congratulations to Rumiath. Congratulations. And with that, Rumiath will advance on to the next round, and the question becomes, who faces off against him? Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's switch our scenes over and have a gander at the round of 16. Let's go. Do we have any updates? We do. We have Rumiath waiting for the winner of 3Point and GS Retail. I did mention 3Point's name earlier. If you're maybe a little bit newer to StarCraft Evolution, 3Point, I would say, is the #1 player in the bracket at the moment. 3Point is a multi-time champion of StarCraft Evolution, so he is the one to bring down. Best of luck to Rumiath, and likewise, best of luck to GS Retail as well. Anyone standing in the way of 3Point, best of luck. Scrolling down, we have Darkest. Ooh. A bit of an upset, I would say. Darkest, the Korean Protoss, takes down Rebellion 2-1. Very impressive. Rebellion, I would have placed him as the favorite player. Rebellion, a very strong Protoss player here in the bracket, but does go down. Did go to the ace match, true. Went all the way to the ace match, but does go down 2-1. Big shout out to Darkest for making that happen. Scrolling down, we have Honmono versus Ukable in a TVT when it goes up against Darkest in the quarterfinals. Scrolling further down, we have Classic. Yes, that is the StarCraft 2 Classic. Classic, this is not his first time competing, not his first rodeo. He is a previous champion of one of these weeklies, and we'll see if anyone can stop him. Classic is going to be definitely the player to keep an eye on in the lower half of the bracket. Does take down Heroku 2-0 now up against Kiwian in the quarterfinals. Kiwian, of course, he mainly does cast StarCraft Evolution, but does dip his toes into competing. Even though Kiwian is a strong player in this mod, I would favor Classic. Regardless, best of luck. Best of luck to both players. Scrolling down, we have Quanta against Syntax, currently mid-series in a TVZ when it goes up against Prome in the next round. Unfortunately, there was a walkover. Unfortunately, there was a walkover, and it looks like Mixu was not able to compete. Not able to compete, not able to play that out, unfortunately. So Prome gets the walkover, and yeah, those are our updates. Those are updates so far. Looks like Honmono did just take down Ukable 2-0. Now Honmono he's about to face off against Darkest in the next round, and I might just jump on that series. Oh god, all the achievements. Un momento. Okay, we're switching over to the Korean region for our next matches. We have mainly Korean players left in the tournament. Actually, I think purely Koreans left. Let's double check. I'm not too familiar with Prome. I don't know if Prome is also Korean. So I'm not too familiar with Prome, but most other players are from the land of Korea. Go. So we are setting up. Okay. I almost died. But I was about to say, where's no Bonan? No Bonan this week. Where's my cannon rusher back? Smudge. My Bonan. Not like this. I've gotten used to seeing him in Cannon Rush on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. Unfortunately, not here this time, unfortunately. Maybe next time. But we are setting up for our next match. Mono versus Darkest is about to begin in a TVP, so we might just jump on that series. Otherwise, we'd have to wait for 3 Point to finish his match to go up against Rumieth. And I guess in general, we want to... actually, I was going to say in general, we do want to avoid mirror matchups. True, but seeing StarCraft 2 races against Brutal races aren't really mirror matchups. Like, there's a lot more... I don't know. It's just that much more interesting here. They are kind of just separate races in their own right, and it's beautiful to see. Just trying to catch up. Intricacies. That's what I was looking for. As it looks like vetoes are underway. Likewise, looks like GS Retail and 3 Point have also wrapped up their own series. So I'm just waiting for an update as well. Mixu had a deadlock thing? Ah, Smurge. Feels deadlock, man. Not like this. Catching up in the chat. Zongstar. Oh yeah, when it comes to, I guess, Polish Zurich player, not Protoss, but sure. Oh, siema, papi, siema. But yeah, I haven't seen Snogstar play in SCL for a while. I feel like, is he seeded in? I know that he was very active at the start of StarCraft Evolution. I hope to see more of Snogstar. It's always fun watching him. I'm sure he'll be a part of the full championship. Oh wait, I just realized I found myself in the wrong lobby. Oh no, get me out of here. Hold on, my bad. I just realized that I'm surrounded by a group of people that I shouldn't be with. Oh god. I was invited to a party, you know, we were just making lobbies. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. Basically, Enki's gonna be casting Classic versus Kiwian. So Classic versus Kiwian was about to begin. And Enki's covering that. I'm gonna be casting Darkest versus Hon Mono. Here we go. So we are splitting up. Enki, of course, he's casting in Spanish. He's our Spanish caster. We're casting in English, and I did just want to split up. Did just want to split up and cover different games, cover different series. We're all good. And here we go. We're getting into our fresh best of 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. It is from South Korea, Darkest. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gambler going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Ooh, as our TVP is underway. And I'll be honest, I haven't been able to cast much of Darkus outside of seeing him when it comes to tournament results, which he has been performing quite well. He was able to take down Rebellion 2-1, a very big result for Darkus, but that was a PvP matchup. In a PvT, I do favor Honmono. Honmono, he is a very aggressive player. We've even seen players like Honmono deny and take down some big Protoss and Zerg players in the past in SC Evo. So he is going to be another mountain to climb for Darkus. I'll say that Darkus is the underdog coming into this, but best of luck. I mean, he was the underdog coming into Rebellion as well, and he did take that series. You can take down Rebellion, you can take down Honmono. Probe Scout is moving out, Honmono going double gas opener into a faster factory. And Honmono against, or when it comes to his StarCraft 2 Terran play, is known for all-ins. He's known very much so for 2-base all-ins, non-stop. It's very rare to see Honmono macro in this matchup. So we'll keep an eye on any kind of signs of aggression from the Terran player. Factory's on the way. And we'll see if Darkus is aware of the reputation of Honmono. See if he is aware. I saw there was some tank discussion going on. Which is better, the Brood War tank or the SC2 tank? Oh no. Bring the numbers out, Bappy. We'll make the spreadsheets, we'll make the graphs. We'll make it happen. Oh no. As for now, we are settling in. We do have Dragoon range on the way. Again, kind of a gateway composition with Robo support is usually standard in this matchup in Brood War Protoss versus SC2 Terran. Working toward Reaver production. We'll see if that's the case here. We shall see. Initial Reaper has arrived. We do have the 1-1-1 setup here from Honmono. I'm curious if he does go for an add-on swap here to go into Banshee production, or if he stays with the Tech Lab on the factory to go into fast tank production instead. As the add-on does complete, and it is going to be the fast tank. Okay. Tank production has already begun for Honmono. His main army moves out. Ooh, first Hellion does fall. Nice control out of Darkus, but he will lose a Dragoon. One Dragoon for a Hellion and a Reaper. Not the worst trade. Worst trade here from the Protoss. Meanwhile, there's the add-on. It's going to be another Tech Lab, so it looks like tank and Banshee production out of Honmono. Again, this has been quite trendy over the past half a year at this point. 6 months. Assuming he goes Banshee. Oh my, this I was not ready for. Second starport. Aye. So it's not just initially Banshee production, but mass Banshee? Oh no. I mean, it does make sense. What I mean by that is, unlike StarCraft 2, Dragoons are less mobile. Straight up, they are less mobile than Blinkstalkers specifically, so trying to pull apart the attention and pull apart the army of the defending player here does make sense. Before that does occur, Dragoons that have arrived, they're going to try and poke away at the front door, but with that tank in position, Honmono should be fine. Yeah, Honmono, he should be perfectly fine. He's safe and sound. Scout is shut down. And Darkus is still in the darkest of what's going on, still doesn't know about the mass Banshee. Oh boy. Now, this kind of variation of battle mech was quite prevalent like last year against Zerg, just going like Hellion, Cyclone, and then mass Banshee. It was done quite often by players like Ryung, players like Gumiho, players like Maru as well. Did of course die off with the death of the previous Cyclone that we had. But here against Protoss, this I'm a little bit less familiar with, especially because bearing in mind we haven't really gone into any Cyclone production. It's just mass tank. It's just tank production to defend, and meanwhile the Banshees are banking up. They are banking up. Bearing in mind as well, without an Arbiter, there's no recall, right? So once again, like, this Protoss army is very immobile. No recall, no blink. Observer gets spotted. Ooh. And the scout is denied now. He did spot the researching tech lab, so Darkus has an idea. He has an idea what's going on. For all he knows, just Cloak Banshee, right? It could just be Cloak Banshee at this point from Honmono. And he's getting ready. You can see here, we have an Observer and Dragoons are ready in the main. Likewise, Observer Dragoons ready here at the natural, so he's ready for Banshee harass. Little does he know, it's not just going to be harass, it's going to be an army. It's going to be a fleet of Banshees. Oh my god. But again, at least Darkus, he has an idea, right? At least he's got a piece of the puzzle. As he's still just building up, going Mass Dragoon. Honmono likewise still building up as well. Safety towers being thrown down. They catch Observer, speaking of. Oh, does catch another Observer. The scout is denied. Checking the vision. Yeah, the Observer did not get behind the mineral line, did not see any additional production. Did see the tech lab still on the starport. But Darkus still just chilling back at home, fortifying himself. He has split up his Dragoons between every single base so far. And here come the Banshees. Hyperflight Rotors is done. 6 Banshees so far, soon to be 8. They're moving out across the map. Now, ideally, I feel like Honmono wants to wait for the Protoss player to move out, right? Like, ideally, you want to wait for the army to be out of position, and then you strike one of these bases. If Honmono pulls the trigger too early, if he's a little bit too premature, then he can be punished. As Darkus is still ready for this. They're going for the Dragoons. One Dragoon goes down. There's a cloak, but there is detection. Nice control out of Honmono. He hasn't lost a Banshee yet. Does pull away. Saves all the Banshees. Does save them. But that's a lot of Dragoons. And he cannot fight this head on. So Honmono does pull away. Rotating around. Taking his third base. Getting into Ghost production behind this. Into Bio. It is 8 Banshees in total. Oh! No Banshee going down yet. Oh my god. Gasito. So, on the one hand, Honmono hasn't lost anything, but on the other hand, he hasn't really dealt any economic damage, which he was hoping for. Looking at the trades, he got 4 Dragoons in total. I mean, really 3 Dragoons. 1 Dragoon died in the early game, if you remember. So 3 Dragoon kills, and not much else. Banshees are being healed up, and here comes the move out. I do like this push. Again, so much resources was invested into these Banshees. Where's the army? There's 3 tanks, yes, but where's the support for the tanks? I mean, there's barely any fire, right? There's a handful of Marines. Right now, Honmono is vulnerable, and now is the time to strike. Ooh, that's not enough Dragoons, though. And 2, 3, 4 Dragoons going down. Meanwhile, we come in from behind. Trying to get on top of those tanks. 1 tank goes down. Oh, that's a lot of volleys going off, though. Barely gets the 2nd tank and the 3rd tank as well. We come in for the mass surround, and it looks like Darkus, he has enough. He completely surrounds the army, takes down the tanks, the Bio, and soon to be the Banshees as well. I mean, the Banshees, they're holding their own. The Dragoons have to come together. Bring them together. 17 SCV kills, and Darkus, he's snowballing out of control from here. Again, as long as he can consolidate his army, he should be okay. Has a kill on the CC. How many Banshees went down? 6. Oh my god, that's a lot of Banshees. Oh no, the tank was stuck! No! The tank was trapped. And Honmono, sure, he's holding on 2 bases, but that's not good enough. Like, Darkus, all he has to do is just deny the 3rd over and over again, back off, take a 4th, tech up, working towards High Templar. Storm is researched. And the win condition for Darkus is deny the 3rd. Deny the 3rd base, just wait for Honmono to expand, and then push in. That's why the observers are waiting in position for any sign of expansion. So Darkus just has to play it slow. Meanwhile, Honmono, he's got to find some damage here. Needs to turn it on. Oh. Running into Dragoons. Honmono pulls away. He's getting into Ghost production. The rest of his, Raxes as well. Still no 3rd. 3rd CC is still in production. He didn't have a 4th base ready to land. So again, there's still no rush for Darkus. So he's trying to get in position. More High Templar are amassing. How many High Templar do we have? 5. Oh my god. It's 5 High Templar for the Protoss. That's a lot of Storm. And again, Homeowner trying to meme on Darkus back. Nah, respect the Darkus. Not to be confused with Darkness. No. So it was a bold play here by Homeowner, but as we saw, Darkus, he had seen enough to tip him off. To at least be ready for some Banshees. It was already going Mass Dragoon anyway. And he's pushing forward. The tanks are on siege! Tanks being late to siege here. Storm's coming in from behind. Tank shots going up. A lot of tank boys actually hitting up the storm. Oh my god! Massive storms! And they shut down the bio. There's one more tank behind this, but the Dragoons, they are gaining ground. No other storms, but yeah, now they're coming in. Here come the reinforcements for Darkus. Breaks through the front line. There's another storm. One ghost left. Final tank falls. And for the second time, Darkus, he has broken the third base. I mean, it was a close fight, don't get me wrong. It was very close. Darkus doesn't have too much left over. But he still denies the expansion. Oh my god. Motorbike goes down. No high ground vision. Actually, the tank is seen. Tank is spotted by the observer. Oh, he wants the CC! He wants it! Oh my god! He's gonna get it as well. Command center goes out. He wants the tank! Tank falls as well. Just Marines, Marauders, and a single ghost remaining. All we need is one juicy storm. Back at home, my Templar are amassing. My Templar are on the way. And at this point, the homeowner, he's having some copium. Oh god. Lifting up his main, it's his only chance to land his main base to try to keep himself in this game. To have some semblance of an economy. Army slips in, gets 2 Dragoons. Darkus coming in for the surround. Ooh. Massive shots going off. Again, the Dragoons, they're quite tanky here. I mean, compared to Stalkers, I should say. Takes a while to break through them. Storms, oh my god, storms on everything! Jesus, that was like 4 storms. GG. And Darkus will take game number 1. GG. Solid game 1 from Darkus, and again, even though he wasn't fully aware of what was going on, he was still ready for some Banshees regardless. He was split between his bases. The Banshee harass or the Banshee commitment did not do enough for Honmono. He committed so hard, and remember, he killed what, 3 Dragoons, that is it, and he left himself vulnerable. We spoke about it. Because of that big investment, that meant that his ground army was lacking. That meant even though he had 3 tanks, he had very little support for those tanks, and in the end, Darkus was able to punish that, abuse that, and break the third. And from there, win the game. From there, just maintain an economic advantage over Honmono. And GG. GG, well played. And now we're going to be having a role reversal here. We have Honmono playing Brood War and Darkus playing SC2. This game 2 is going to be on ley lines. Here we go. But I do love that the storm effect is they're not just reusing the storm effect of SC2. No. It's quite different. It hits a little bit different when a Brood War High Templar comes in with a storm. It does hit different. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Honmono. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player from South Korea leading the series 1-0. It is Darkus. Homeowner is proxying. He's going for the all-in. We have not just one, not just two, but we have 3 SCVs. 3 workers moving out. It's going to be a proxy 3 racks here from Honmono. And it's going to be on Darkest to figure out what's going on. He is going to be scouting here on the right-hand side, moving out across the map. He will miss the proxy. And for now, he's in the dark. He's in the darkest. Now, with this probe scout, he will confirm that the Raxes are missing, that there's no gases being taken, so he will soon figure out what's going on, and we'll see how he responds as he is set up on the low ground. And Marines are going to be soon on the way. As the probe dips in, does confirm, again, no production and no gases. Shield battery, oh sorry, second pylon's on the way to keep everything powered. Bunker has been thrown down, and the boys are being pulled. We'll see if they can deny the bunker and buy time for the gateway units, for the gateway army. Oof, the bunker placement is brutal. SCVs are safe. Marine has arrived. The initial bunker can be DPS down though. 1 probe falls. Zealot makes it out, going for the SCVs. Gets 1 SCV. That's a kill, not a cancel on the bunker. The boys, they break out. The final SCV will go down. The bunkers will not complete. That's still 3 probe kills. 3 for 3. Dark is backing up, just trying to buy time. Oh, that might just be too many Marines at this point. Yeah, the Zealot, it cannot touch this. A second Zealot's on the way, but what is Zealot's going to do here? Nothing. Shield battery gets placed, but again, the Zealot is down to half HP. And Homeowner, he might just have too much. Stalker's on the way. Darkest, he has to buy a little bit more time. The Zealot falls, so do all the probes. Shield battery as well. And the boys are pulled again. The boys are here. Sure, there's 1 Stalker, but alas, the natural has been broken. The pylons are falling as well. And there's just too many Marines at this point. They're just built up over time to critical mass. In the main, oh god, there's nothing in the main either. The probes are here. The bunker is done. Oof. And it looks like we're going to the ace match. As Homeowner takes on every single probe. The Stalker as well. GG gets called. And we are going to game 3. GG. Oh, we're going to the ace match. Not necessarily the way that I wanted us to go to the ace match, but it is Homeowner. Again, he's a very cheesy player. He's not known for macro. He is known for all-ins like this. GG, well played. In very Homeowner fashion, does take the game. And now we're getting ready for game 3. Let's go. Let us go. But again, because the workers were hyperfixated on killing the bunkers and denying them, it did also mean that the Marine count built up over time. It meant that, I mean, I don't think a single Marine went down up until the first Stalker arrived. So, yeah, Homeowner just snowballed out of control from there. Darkest, I'm sure, not too experienced when it comes to playing against certain kind of all-ins. But regardless, here we go. We're getting in. We are getting into our next game here, and it is loser's pick for those that are curious. It's quote-unquote loser's pick. The loser does pick whether they want to play StarCraft 2 or Brood War. That is the format of this event. As Darkest did lose the game, he has picked StarCraft 2 Protoss. And here we go. We're getting into the final game of the series, and spawning in the top right hand corner, or in the top center of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Hyper 1. It is Honmono. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. It's once again, we have the South Korean Protoss, we have the SC2 Protoss. It is Darkest. Now, this is a 3-player map. He sees! Let's go! He sees his scouts. He does confirm. He gets eyes on the Raxes. Darkest is aware. And he does force a cancel. Ooh, Homeowner is forced to turn back around. Ay, ay, ay. But again, this is a 3-player spawn map. And now Homeowner is aware because of the scouting pattern of the probe. Likewise, Darkest also aware as well. He's still going to confirm. But Homeowner, he's forced to adapt, forced to transition, and we'll be going for the CC first on location. is going CC first. Darkus confirms that there is no Terran here towards the bottom left. Now Darkus is aware. And we can now embrace a bit of a longer game. Now I do emphasize a bit of a longer game because I'm still not ruling out Homeowner going for a 2-base all-in. Again, Homeowner, he's very cheesy, very unorthodox. That's why he went mass Banshee in game 1 as well. Like, he's all about just doing weird stuff. It's just Homeowner. He can play standard at times. Maybe sometimes. Maybe like once a year or something like that. He has it in him. But not often. Going for the 2 racks follow-up. I imagine working towards a 3rd into mass bio. And now we can settle in. We can settle into our game. I say, no more cheese. I wouldn't get ahead of myself here. I would. Don't get ahead of yourself. There's still a lot that Homeowner can do on 2 bases. But here we go. Probe does slip in. Gets an eye on the rack setup. Depending on how many racks get thrown down, this could just be a 2-base all-in, just like Master Marine with Stim. So we'll keep an eye on the production. And Darkus, he will get away. Why not play mech? It's a very stylistic thing. I mean, Brood War Bio is still very much so viable against StarCraft 2 races. Is still very viable. So you have the option to do one or the other. But it is a lot of fun watching, watching mass like Vulture with Spider Mines. I would say it's good. I enjoy it. Watching, I should say. As Homeowner is building up, medics are on the way. There's the Academy for Stim. Darkus, he does poke in. Doesn't quite commit. There's a single eBay 4+1. Homeowner skating, trying to get read on the tech. Does get eyes on the Robo, so now he's aware of the Robo opener. So it's going to be a fast Robo into a Bay. Very safe play here by Darkus. With this, he has access to fast Colossus. The Immortal has arrived, and here we go. Homeowner does push. Just in time for Stim. Stim is finishing up in a couple of seconds as Homeowner hits the natural. But the shield battery is ready. Overcharge as well. And the Immortal. So again, just really safe play out of Darkus. He reads Homeowner very well. And he should be fine. He should be okay. Gets the first medic. There's the first Stim. Oh, a bit of a premature overcharge as Homeowner was already backing off. Is a little bit concerning. Prism moves out. Homeowner does spot it. Forces another Stim. He's looking for the Prism. Homeowner has to retreat. Now taking up into his factory. Homeowner still fanning out for that War Prism. And the first Colossus is on the way. So Darkus now just embracing his Robo production, his Colossus. Soon to be a third base on the horizon. And the Prism does get away. Doesn't get caught out by Homeowner. Does scan ahead of time, spots the Colossus, respects it, has to back off. Darkus, he runs into the main army. Darkus can take the fight, forces a Stim. Homeowner has to get the hell out of here. Does have to pull away. Oof. Marine's going down. Darkus, he's going to be reinforcing. I assumed he was going to be going into the main. But no, he is committing to a push instead. What do we have at home to defend? We have a tank on the way. Siege mode is being researched. +1 as well. But honestly, Homeowner, he doesn't really have much of an army. And he's overstimmed. Is overstimmed, has the one tank, but cannot siege up. And Darkus, he's pushing in. He's going for it. Bunker's ready. Boys are being pulled. Where's the force field? Ooh. Yeah, it does lock down the bunker. Bunker goes down. And can Darkus get on top of that tank? It's getting low. Tank's getting low. More boys being pulled. Oof. Darkus, he has to pull back. The Immortal is going to be targeted. Oh, the juggling! The Immortal gets saved. The tank does siege, but he gets targeted down as well, and it looks like Darkus, he has done it. Here come the reinforcements. Immortal's still barely alive. Oof. There's the one tank. Gets the Immortal. Boys are here, but a second Colossus has arrived. And this is becoming game-ending damage. Oh my god, the swipes are too good. The juggling! Save it! No! Doesn't get the Colossus, doesn't save it. Does go down, but it looks like Darkus, he has enough anyway. He has enough. The slow lots! GG gets called, and Darkus will take the series 2-1. Will advance on to the semi-finals. GG. Let's go. Who needs charge? Who needs it? GG, well played. Darkus, he survives the initial attempted proxy. He also survives the stim timing, the 3x stim timing of Honmono as well. Remember, Darkus, he was blindly playing safely. He was just going into a Robo, into Immortal. He was able to fortify and defend the natural and snowball into his Colossus. I say snowball into a win, but Honmono, he was punished for being active. Remember, his army was out on the map, and he bled out like half his Marines as he was racing back home, so he was again punished for being active, punished for being caught out like that, and in the end, GG. GG, well played. Darkus will take the win and will advance on. And the question becomes, who's up next? Who is up next? Exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. Let's switch our scenes over and see if we have any updates. Ooh, we do have some updates coming in. We have, of course, Darkus in the semifinals. He's waiting for the winner of 3-Point and Rumiath. 3-Point took down GS Retail 2-0, and now he's locked into that ZVZ. I did have my eyes on 3-Point versus Rumiath. I would love to jump into that at some point. Again, 3-Point is the heavy favorite to win the entire tournament. We'll see if anyone can stop him. We shall see. Meanwhile, we just got another update. Classic takes down Kiwian 2-0. Classic also in the lower semifinals. Classic, he is, I would say, favored to... Is Classic favored to make it to the finals? Do I favor Classic over Quanta? Like, I rate Quanta quite highly in StarCraft Evolution. Like, Quanta is a very strong player. I do rate him higher than Kiwian when I compare the Terran players. When I think of, like, the top 3 Terrans here, like Quanta, Honmono, and Kiwian, I do feel like Quanta has it in him to take it to these other top players. I want to say it was last week or the week before that we had a finals between Quanta and 3-Point. Went to the ace match. Went all the way to game 5 in that best of 5. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. Regardless, we're still waiting for those quarterfinal matches to wrap up. Waiting for them to wrap up. They are underway. When it comes to the semifinals, again, I'm going to be focusing on the upper matches just because those are the series we've been casting, you know, with Honmono, with Darkus, with Rumiath as well. So we're going to be focusing on the upper matches, but we might end up casting both depending on what becomes available first. We'll see. We'll see what happens. See what does go down. It looks like Quanta versus Prome is about to begin. Quanta did take down Syntax 2-0. And it looks like Enki is going to be casting Quanta versus Prome. So Enki's going to be covering that series. I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to just chill out to wait for these upper matches. More than happy. When is your SCV Master Campaign stream going to be? One day, Pappy, one day. No. I do want to. I do want to play it. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, we have some free days in December. I'm a little bit demotivated about streaming other games, just because of what happened with Final Fantasy 16. Smurge. But we'll get around to it. I've just been busy these past couple of days, just haven't been able to stream. Maybe ladder stream tomorrow? Maybe? Maybe on that one. Smurge. Basically, the reason why I've been streaming less than usual this week on my personal channel is because of Lima League. So we casted and we streamed a Lima League on Wednesday, right? Was it Wednesday or Tuesday? But earlier in the week we casted a Lima League, but we casted it on Jijik, which is a Korean streaming platform, not on Twitch. And through the process of streaming on it, we did find out something very frustrating, and that is that you cannot export your VODs that are on Chijijik. You cannot export them, you cannot download them unless you're a partner, unless you're like the equivalent of a Twitch partner on Chijijik. So you cannot download them. I was like, what the hell? So then I went through the process of like trying to fill out forms and trying to set things up to get ready to maybe potentially be partner on Chijijik. And then I found out that you actually cannot become a partner on Chijijik unless you have a Korean bank account. So I went through like most of the steps and most of the process, most of the way to like, and then I got to that point where it's like transaction or like bank details, and you have to be on a Korean. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess we just can't. I guess we can't do it. So it took like an extra day to realize that. So then what I had to do was I had to record the screen. I full screen the VOD. To get the VOD of Evolution League, I had to full screen it. Then I had to screen capture and record it, like just manually, with OBS. So I had to re-record it all. Then I had to render it all, and it takes a long time for that. So the PC has been stuck like rendering basically like for the past like 3 days, just non-stop like rendering and uploading all the VODs from Evolution League. And when you're rendering something, like it takes all of your like processing power to render a VOD. So like I can't do anything else. That's why I haven't been like streaming or anything like that. And I did finally finish with the Evolution League, and gonna have to do that again next week. Let's go. Gonna have to do that all over again. Smooch. This time I will have a local recording, so I won't have to re-record it, but I still have to like manually like render and upload and everything. So extra work for Evolution League. Extra work. Light actually plays SC2. Oh, Kappa. Crazy how people haven't played the StarCraft 1 campaign. Well, I mean, I have. I grew up with StarCraft 1. Like, I played so much SC1 and so much Brood War as a kid. Like, I'm referring to, like, 2003, around 2003. But I haven't played Remastered. Like, I own Remastered. But I never replayed the Brood War campaign with, like, the new updated graphics. That's what Frost was referring to. I played it many times, but yeah, not remastered specifically. Yeah. The nostalgia, probably the nostalgia. The game is old. I mean, we didn't really have a powerful PC when I was a kid, so a lot of the games that I played AoE 1. I played a lot of Age of Empires 1. I played a lot of Diablo 1. I played a lot of StarCraft 1 and Brood War. It wasn't until many years later that I didn't even play Diablo 2. Like, I didn't play Diablo 2. I didn't play AoE 2. Like, I skipped out on all the 2s. on all the, like, sequels. I did play Age of Mythology when that came out. True. Loved Age of Mythology. I played like Warcraft 3 far later. Yo, does anyone remember the Lord of the Rings RTS? Battle for Middle-earth? Yo. Oh my god. My PC could barely run that game. Like, frames would drop. Like, when you summon like the Rohirrim or something like that, like frames would plummet. But it was so cool. Feels Battle for Middle-earth. We have a glimpse into Lightroom. True, you can see. Don't worry about it. Don't pay attention. I think Battle for Middle-earth 2 was one of the first RTSs on console. I mean, I guess it was like StarCraft 64 on console, but those remember back in the day, the Xbox 360 had a bunch of RTSs on it, It had Command and Conquer. It had Battle for Middle Earth. It had obviously Halo Wars as well. Star Wars Battleground. Do I know that one? I remember playing. I'll be honest. I remember playing a Star Wars RTS as a kid, but I do not remember the name. I do not remember the name at all. But I remember playing it. It wasn't mine. I remember like going to like a cousin's house and playing it there instead. Was it Star Wars Battleground? Was it this? Maybe. Oh, I think it was. I played it like that one time. I never owned it. Never owned it. Is it on GOG? GOG. Wouldn't mind playing it again. Empire at War. I don't think I played Empire. I was trying to figure out the Star Wars RTS because I couldn't remember the name. I don't think I played Empire at War. That looks too new. It looks too good. Yeah, I'm looking at the graphics. Like, this looks too good. I think I played Battleground. Yeah. Or Battlegrounds. Like, more like AoE 1 graphics. That's what I played. StarCraft did have a version on console at one point. I forget what it was. It was StarCraft 64. I never played that. I never owned a Nintendo 64. My first console was a PS2. PS2. First console. I guess. Jesus. What did I get first? A PS2 or a Game Boy Color? I got one of those two first. Around the same year, like 2000. Like year 2000. That was my first consoles. Never owned a 64? No. I played it. It was one of those things. See, back in the day, you used to, obviously I have a Latin American family, so I have a very big family, as you can imagine. Back in the day, you don't get all the consoles as a kid. No. Like you get one, then like your other cousin gets another, then your other cousin gets another. So you've got like the one cousin that's got like the 64, you got the other one that's got the Xbox, you got the other one that's got the GameCube, and then depending on where you go, like that's what you play. That's how you do, Papi. That's how you do. Or like if it's not family, then friends, right? That's how I used to play games. But we loved playing like Smash Brothers on the 64. Smash Brothers, GoldenEye. What were the other ones? Mario Kart. Ocarina of Time. It's good. Oh, okay. Looks like we have a series. So this entire time, I wasn't just chilling and talking to the chat. I was waiting for a match, waiting for a series, and we have one. Do have one. Let's go. So it looks like we have an update. 3-Point did take down Rumi at 2-0. Did take him down. And now we have the upper semifinals. Just switching our scenes over. Let's go. There we go. We have 3-Point coming in from the upper quarterfinals. It's going to be up against Darkus in the ZVP. Let us go. So we're going to be casting the upper semis, and if we're fast enough, we might be able to cast the lower semis as well. You can see that Classic is waiting for the winner of Quanta and Prome. So Classic, he still has to wait, so we might get both, or maybe just the upper semis, and then maybe like half of the lower semis, or just straight into the finals. We'll see. We'll see. But 3-Point and Darkus is our next match. AoE 3 was great, to be honest. A shame it never got fame. For a very long time, the only Age of Empires games that I played was AoE 1 and Age of Mythology. I didn't play AoE 2 until recently. I think it was like a couple of years ago, maybe like 2020 or something, when I think the Definitive Edition came out. It was either like the Definitive Edition or like the HD Edition, but there was like an edition that came out on Steam a couple of years ago. So that's when I played it. So I got really late into AoE 2, and I've never played AoE 3. Never played it. Oh. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Need a new Mario Party. We never had Mario Party, unfortunately. Oh, goddamn, I keep getting into the wrong lobby. Oh, god damn it. I keep doing that. Shout out to Quanta. But basically, I kept getting invites, and because I'm on autopilot, I just keep accepting. And I just keep realizing I shouldn't be here. But shout out to Quanta. Quanta is still mid-series versus Prone. They duking it out. How many of them are defense missions? Yeah, I mean I would say that's the good thing about SC2 is that there's a lot of variety, right? There's a lot of variety when it comes to the StarCraft 2 campaign. Like, say what you want about the story. Like, I'm also not too fond of the story of StarCraft 2, but like the level design and like the overall efforts put into whether it comes to like all your upgrades or like your tech trees and your tech pods of like changing your army, changing your units, like unlocking things and like the missions themselves, the levels themselves. It was done well. Done really well, especially by the time it got to Legacy of the Void. By the time it got to Legacy. But we might just have a short break. Here. It looks like vetoes are still underway, so we're going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have 3-point versus Darkest. Take this moment, get some snacks, get some food, get some water, take a short break, and we'll be back soon with the semis. See you then. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the StarCraft Evolution League number 6. Whew. Again, it's been quite an intense tournament so far, and now we can finally feature the one, the only, the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, the Brutal Zerg, representing Hyper 1. It is 3-Point. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the StarCraft 2 Protoss. It is Darkus. And if you are in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as you can get your gamba going. And I will very quickly set up the player name on the overlay. One moment. Bam. There we go. Is now set up. Now, I did mention before that 3-Point does often embrace Brutal Zerg, even if when he has the option to choose. Is going hatch first. Meanwhile, Darkus back at home, setting up for his own gate expand. So far, standard openers. 3-Point did go for a drone scout. Interesting. Has yet to really do much with it. Just being a bit of an annoyance and forcing a probe off the mineral line. Does force out a probe. Setting up for the proxy astral just in time. 300 minerals just in time for the drone getting in position. And the hatchery has been placed, so it's going to be a hatch or double hatch opener here by 3-Point. And with this, his goal is to delay the expansion of Darkus. Not just delay, he's forcing out a Zealot, so Zealot has to pop out. Next is delayed, and eventually Darkus will be able to expand, but we'll have a bit of a slower economy. We'll be hindered early on. Hatchery now being taken from 3-Point, getting to his gas geyser. We'll see where they take us from here. See some more discussion in the chat. I do agree. I feel like the gameplay, or not just the gameplay, but the level design and everything surrounding the story is what carried it. Oh my, second hatchery? Jesus. 3-Point. Oh my god, he commits. Second hatchery's on the way. But I wasn't too fond of the story overall. With the direction they took a bunch of the characters and a bunch of the story points, not just with Kerrigan, but in other aspects. Meanwhile, the hatchery does complete, and 3-Point, he's committing to this quite hard. Oh my god. Hatchery will finish, backup hatchery on the way. Because of this, the creep has to recede before we can actually expand. And link production has begun. 16 links, oh my god. Links are coming out from back at home, from across the map as well, coming in, getting ready for a surround. Thankfully, there is a shield battery, but there won't be an overcharge. Yeah, no overcharge for the Protoss. And with this backup hatchery, there's going to be even more larva. Links, they bust into the main. They're going, oh, you have to be careful for the surround. They head for the main base. Zealot will chase. Meanwhile, Stalker's still in hold position. More Lings are floating across the map. These 4 Lings have been kept safe. Now up to 5, down to 4. And again, Darkus, he hasn't built another unit here. He didn't realize how much danger he was in. The Stalker is holding for now, but the shield battery is about to run out of energy. Lings are coming from behind. Now we have the Adept on the way, but it's a very delayed Adept for the Protoss, for Darkus. Oracle pops out just in time. And even without that without that 4th unit, I should say, we're holding. Darkus, he is holding on. We're gonna get a kill on that hatchery. Oh. So far, so good. Ling's going for the pylon. Pylon under fire. Zealot's gonna get surrounded. And Darkus, he gets pulled out. He gets not just the Zealot surrounded, the Adept, the other Zealot as well. Oracle's out of energy, and it looks like 3-Point, he has done it. Initially, Darkus, he was holding on, but no, the wall is depowered. And 3-Point, he has taken control of the natural and taken control of the entire game set at this point. Another Oracle pops out, but there are too many Lings. There are just too many Lings. He's broken in. He's busted through. Gets into the main. Shield batteries, they will not finish. And 3-Point, the final pylon here. I mean, we're supply blocked. Darkus, he can't even make any more oracles. NG is about to run out. And 3-Point, it looks like he has done it. I mean, the oracles, they're dishing out a lot of DPS, but there's only so much they can do against these Lings. So they get into the mineral line. More probes falling. Ay, ay, ay. 3-Point going for the Nexus for a moment there as well. And Darkus, he's down to 15 probes. Oh, some wasted DPS. Regardless, looks like the Lynx, they should be able to hold their own. Yeah, getting up to 19, getting up to 20, probe 22. And GG gets called. 3 points. We'll take game number 1. Whew. GG. A very intense game 1, a 3-point going for the double proxy hatchery just so we can commit and just so we can make use of the larva, of course. And Darkus initially wasn't taking it seriously enough. It looked like Darkus, he wasn't fully aware of how committed and how all-in 3-point was being until it was a little bit too little too late. As a result, had that much less to defend. He was forced out into the open, he got surrounded as well, and was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. 3-point does take a lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Oh. Now, as a reminder, it is loser's pick. The way this works is that Darkus, he has a choice. He has a choice to make. Does he play Brood War Protoss or SC2 Protoss? Which one is it going to be? Which one? As they are still deciding. Oh. That was a crazy start. That was a crazy start. It's a wild. There's a randomizer. I always wanted to play. I mean, there's some really cool arcade maps or really cool custom games or custom modes in the arcade. One of them is I've heard of that. I haven't played it myself. I haven't played a campaign in a long time. But I believe there's a version of the campaign that you can play in the arcade, which is like you play the quote unquote NPC. Like instead of like the NPC is actually playing like Kerrigan or Artanis or Rain or whoever, and you're playing the other side of each campaign mission, which is really cool. Like, I love that concept, that idea. So you're playing from the other side instead. There's a co-op campaign, I believe, where, similar to the co-op mode, you do have someone else that can play with you through all the campaign missions. There's a lot of really cool stuff on the arcade. Here we go, we're getting into game 2, getting into ley lines. Race swap campaigns, yeah. We're getting into that second game, and we'll see if we can embrace this game a little bit more here, or if it ends before it really begins. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the StarCraft 2 Zerg, representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3-point. Un momento. One moment here. Bam, beautiful. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss, the Brood War Protoss. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Darkus. Do have a 15 open. Oh, never mind. Just initial extractor trick here at a 3-point. Meanwhile, Darkus setting up here on the low ground, going for the gate expand. But this was Darkus's choice to go for the Brood War race instead. And at this time, 3-point will go for a standard hatchery back at home. This time there is no extractor. Sorry, extractor. There's no proxy hatch, no early gas. We're going for a cannon. Let's go. Forge has been placed, and Darkus, he's going for the cannon rush. Oh my god. You can see the Overlord, he is going to be chasing that probe down. 3-point is where is familiar with his opponent. And where do we place those pylons? Here in the mineral line. First pylon gets placed. Boys are being pulled. See Darkus getting into the high ground, getting up the ramp. Drone is chasing. So far, good response here by 3-point. DPSing down that pylon. Likewise, getting position. Pylon is cancelled. And this cannon rush is quite delayed. Back at home, Darkus, he throws down a gateway. Ooh. Oh, he cancelled. Let's go. He canceled the forge. It's a fake cannon rush. But again, 3-point did not overreact. Didn't overreact. Only pulled a couple of workers. It was 4 drones. I think a 5th drone towards the end. And 3 now confirms that there is no forge. Instead, a 2-gate opener. Ooh, that was a mistake though. The pylon did finish. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be cancelled. So that is a bit of a commitment there from Darkus. And it will be cleaned up. Back at home, Robo before expand. This could just be a 1-base all-in. Like, this is a very late Nexus. A very late expansion. Double Robo? Wait, what? Okay. I think we're rushing into, I would imagine we're rushing into Reavers here, right? So we're going into a shuttle and a Reaver as quickly as possible where we will need the Bay. But I think this is for Mass Reaver, right? Question mark? Robo just now finishing up. Show us the Bay. Shuttle's on the way. Probe getting in position. Yep, there it is. There's the Bay. So it's going to be shuttle into double Reaver production. All off of 1 base. And the Overlord keeps confirming. 3 he keeps checking to make sure that there is no expansion. So 3 he knows that something is wrong. Safety Roachhorn. Good call here by 3 He is still droning, but he's playing it safe. Yep, Roachhorn with a Spore Crawler as well. 3 doesn't know what's happening. He knows it's an all-in though. He knows it's aggressive. He knows it's very tech-heavy. It could be Reaver. It could be Dark Templar. I guess it couldn't. I was gonna say it could be Skytoss, but I haven't really seen too much Corsair play in StarCraft Evolution. But 3 just playing as safe as possible. Playing it safe. His Lings are looking for proxies, looking for ninja bases. 3 is scouting all around the map. Fanning out his Overlords. And here come the first 2 Reavers. Shuttle speed is on the way. And now Darkus expands. Now this is a very late expansion. Because of this, Darkus, these Reavers, they need to get damage done. They need to gain value. They need to pop off. Now, there was the most recent change that did end up buffing the shuttle when it comes to pickup micro. I think it only increased the pickup range by 1, I want to say, or like by less than 1, something like that. But it is more slightly improved when it comes to Reaver control and Reaver harass. As the shuttle moves out. There we go. Speed does kick in. And he's going for the natural. Queens are keeping up. Roach is in position as well. The shuttle was spotted. And 3 is ready. 3 is ready for this. Ooh, shuttle taking a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage. He's going for the Queen. Oh, he's going for the Roaches even. But the shuttle may just go down. Too many hits. Too many losses, and this is brutal. The shuttle escapes with the Reaver's fall, and that was not worth it. What are the trades looking like here? 3 Roaches. 3 Roaches for 2 Reavers. Ay, ay, ay. And remember, the Natural's just now getting up and running. There are more shuttles and more Reavers on the way, but this was not worth it. Not yet. Now, there is still potential. As a fresh shuttle moves out, there is still potential for damage, but it's looking more and more bleak here for Darkus. Those move out across the map. Making his way towards the main. Meanwhile, we can see 3 getting ready for a counterattack, going into Spire play, going into Mutas, and Mutas, they're gonna hard counter this shuttle play. 1 Queen falls, getting a second, not bad. 2 Queen kills, but here come the Mutas, and their goal is to shut down the shuttle. And remember, there is no recall. Oh! 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 Oh my god. The Scarab Shot didn't know where to go. But decent connections here on the Lings. Good connection here on the Roaches as well. It is going to be a good defense. But we're waiting for those Mutas. Mutas, they hit the field, they move out across the map. And how many Mutas do we have? 10. That is more than enough to one-shot probes. They're going for the mineral lines, and back at home, what is it to defend this? Nothing shoots up. Nothing shoots up! He's got Reaver Zealots! Ay, ay, ay. We're going for the quad Reaver drop into the main. Damage is going to be done, but there is still no answer to the Mutas. As Mutas, they get 17 pro kills. GG gets called, and 3 points will take the series 2-0. GG. Again, 3 point. He did come in as the heavy favorites. I wanted to believe that Darkus could pose a threat to him, but alas, he was in a way hard countered. Oh, I say that. 3 point played very safely. Remember, he was rescouting constantly to check for an expansion. He confirmed there was none, so he just went for a fast Spore Crawler. He went for a fast Roach Warren as well, playing very safe. Just very safe play at a 3 point. Did mean that he didn't take any damage really from the Reaver drops. And we saw how committed Darkus was with that double robo build. He had to get some economic damage. He had to do something across the map. He did nothing. And with that, he snowballed, or 3 point snowballed out of control. Going into Muta play is a bit of a hard counter to Shuttle Reaver play, just because nothing shoots up and there was no recall. The shuttles were exposed, and I mean, the Mutas didn't even go for the shuttles. They just went across the map. End of the game. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, 3 point will advance onto the grand finals, and we are getting ready for the lower semis. Getting ready for our next series. It's going to be a TVP between Classic and Quanta. So it worked out. It lined up very nicely for us. Basically, we just finished one semis, and now we're about to begin the next semifinals. It all has lined up for us. Beautiful. Here we go. You need a moment to set things up and to get things going. There we go. This is going to be a best of 3, and I believe vetoes are currently underway. I believe they are underway. And I did just kind of mention the results, but heading over here to the bracket, Quanta took down Prome 2-0. So it was a 2-0. And I feel like this next series is going to be a little bit more competitive here. Again, 3 point was the heavy favorite earlier. When it comes to Classic versus Quanta, I don't know how to place them. If this was SE2, 100% Classic. Classic, he is the favorite player. He's the stronger StarCraft 2 player, 100%. But here in StarCraft Evolution, I want to believe that Quanta can pose a threat. I think overall, I do still favor Classic. I do still kind of lean towards Classic as the stronger force, and you know, a Classic versus 3 point finals is, you know, it is more likely to occur. But because Quanta is so prevalent in StarCraft Evolution, I want to believe he can force the ace match. I want to believe we can go back and forth and have a game 3. But I feel like the pressure is going to be on Quanta. Pressure is on. So we'll see if a Classic can be stopped. And it looks like our players need a little bit more time to conduct their vetoes. It looks like Classic and Quanta, they do need some time, so we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have our next series. We'll have Classic versus Quanta. Take this moment, again, get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your Marines, and hydrate all of your Hydras. When we come back, we'll have our TVP. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the lower semifinals of the StarCraft Evolution League number 6. And big shout out to Dave Testa in the chat. Papi God, thank you so much for subscribing for, oh my god, 20 months. That's a lot of months, Papi. A lot of months of support. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. And welcome one and all to the semifinals. I do apologize for the break, but hope you enjoyed the brutal OST as we have returned and we have our best of 3 TVP. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Troy, we have the South Korean Terran player, the SC2 Terran. Representing Streamer Zone, it is a Quanta. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is a Classic. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamba going because predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. It will be Classic or Quanta, the Protoss or the Terran. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. As a reminder, this is a 4-player spawn map as well. 4 players or 4 spawn locations are possible. And Classic, he does scout towards the south. He does scout vertically and does scout Quanta immediately as well. So very fortunate for Classic. Fully aware of what his opponent's up to. Meanwhile, settling into this, I was mentioning earlier who was going to be favored in this series. I do still lean towards Classic. Now Classic, this is not his first time playing. He has competed in SCLs in the past in StarCraft Evolution League. He actually is even a StarCraft Evolution League champion. I believe it was like 2 or 3 editions ago. He was a champion and is looking to again have a similar performance here to kind of reprise his role as the winner, as the champion of StarCraft Evolution. We'll see if he can do so. We'll see if Quanta can put us up to him. Oh boy. Here we go. Also, as a reminder, something that I have not actually mentioned this entire cast is the fact that this is the final StarCraft Evolution of the season, because up next in the coming weeks we have the StarCraft Evolution Championship. There is going to be a major event, a $1,000 plus prize pool on the line in the championship. There's going to be a group stage. We've already casted the qualifiers. Qualifiers were last week, so from there, group stage into the playoffs, into the finals as well. We will be casting. We won't be casting live. We're going to be casting like a day or two later via replays. Oh boy. So this is the final chance that these players have that they have to gain points to be invited into the main event. Meanwhile, we do see Classic going for his own expansion, going for a gate expand into his Dragoon range. Dragoon range is on the way. Meanwhile, Quanta back at home getting into his 1-1-1 setup. Looks like Quanta is now confirming, now does SCV Scout, is aware of Classic spawn location. Is aware. And we have some really fun features here on Troy. So first things first, we have some pseudo island, or we have some island bases, kind of. You can see here, this base is technically not an island, but it is in a way still just kind of sealed off from the rest of the map because of all the cliff faces here, so that the only way to expand in this location is to lift off a CC or to land a worker. So yeah, basically island locations here in between the bases, scattered throughout. Likewise, there's also this center location, which is also kind of like an island base. There is a very narrow choke point to gain access to this location. It's also in between all of the corner bases, and you have these gas walls right beside them. We have a lot of these gas geysers. Now, the way this works, as the Dragoons have arrived and they chip away at the bunker, is that if these gas geysers are destroyed, they actually turn into their regular steam vents like this, their regular gas geysers, and they actually tighten this up. They don't fully wall off, but they make it so that only a worker or only tiny units can actually squeeze through the gas geysers themselves. The simulators are actually smaller than the gas geyser. That is a bit of a fun fact. So they make this area even more narrow if they are killed. As the Dragoons, they are knocking down those rocks. You see Classic still riding across the map, is keeping Quanta contained. Meanwhile, the first tank has arrived. With the help of this tank, Quanta should be safe and sound. Ooh, massive tank volley goes off, 1 Dragoon falls, and Quanta holds. Now, we have casted on Troy in the past, and again, this natural base is very defendable, very difficult to push into. But the third, likewise, is also quite difficult to expand to. Outside of the island base, I guess, for Terran, they can't just lift and land. They can lift and land. Classic, there we go. Third CC's on the way to expand here at this triangular location. Meanwhile, behind this is going to be Master Dragoon into Reavers. Reaver production has begun for Classic. We have the first shuttle. Shuttle speed is on the way. And Classic is going for Reaver drops. Likewise, Quanta getting into his 1-on-1, getting into Banshee production. Cloak Banshee's on the way. Classic going to be expanding here towards the right-hand side, away from his opponent. And the Banshee has yet to pull the trigger, has yet to really commit into the natural, just waiting for Cloak. Waiting for Cloak to finish up. We can see Classic is just focusing on containing. After he realizes how fortified this location is, just containing Quanta on 2 bases, at least trying to. And here comes that shuttle. Shuttle behind the mineral line, towards the SCVs. They do scout each other. A Banshee on the shuttle, making his way into the main. Oh, towards the production. And Classic, he does thread the needle. Boys being... Oh no! Oh my god, the workers, they line up. 5 probes go down. And there's another shot. Oh my, 7 SCVs. And counting. 10 SCV kills. Even more going to fall. Meanwhile, at the same time, oh my god, Classic is ready for this. He shuts down the Banshees. He scattered earlier. He was already in position. The Banshees, they get nothing done. That's 11 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. The Marines will punish this. Oh my god. The shuttle is trapped. Bearing in mind, yeah, there's no way out of this. The shuttle goes down. Reaver falls. That is a massive pickoff, but that was not for free. That was for 11 workers. So you could argue that was worth it here for Classic. Classic does take a worker lead. Meanwhile, the Banshee instead rotates towards the third. It does find some probes. 2 probes go down. Denies mining time. Not bad. Dragoons are trying to keep up. Remember, Dragoons, they are much more immobile compared to Stalkers. They cannot blink. And the Banshee gets away. And at least Quanta is aware of the third location. So we have a bit of a give and take here. Classic still has a very comfortable worker lead. Ooh, bit of a misrally. Does run in the Zealots. Finding some stray SCVs as well. Banshee slips into the main, gets 2 more probes, backs off. And from here, Classic, he can build up. Now it's not just Dragoon and the Reaver. Now he's working towards the Templar Archives, working towards High Templar and Storm. Banshee getting forced back. Classic is diving back in. The 1 Reaver does get eyes on the third. No SCVs to kill. Quanta breaks out. Gets a Dragoon. Classic is aware. He's hunting down the army. Oh! Doesn't quite commit. Turns back around. And so far it's just positional play. So far it's just map control and map awareness between our players. Trying to keep up with any rotation. Classic, he reinforces. And remember, he has those 2 Reavers. Sorry, he has 1 Reaver. Zealots, they dive in. I mean, the Reaver isn't even necessary here. Shot is going to be going off. Up! Ooh. Nice split out of Quanta. Very nicely done. He pulls away the Marauder. He avoids any kind of splash damage. Meanwhile, we do see across the map 7 probe kills. Oh my god, the 1 Banshee popping off. 1 Banshee gets 7 probes. Reaver gets a mule. Double drop getting in position. Up! He's going for the shuttle. Oh, the shuttle's under fire. Massive pick off. Reaver goes down. The shuttle does escape, but without the Reaver, I mean, there's not really much here they can do. So Quanta having some really strong moments here. He gets economic damage. He kills a Reaver. Denies any kind of economic damage as well. So Quanta is fighting back. He keeps the Banshee alive. He's going for a Doom Drop. Bold move. Doom Drop across the map. At the same time, Classic, he pushes in. And Quanta is caught with his pants down. The army is out of position. We're going for a base trade. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, this was not the time to move out. A drop on the right. Quadruple drop here towards the natural. And who destroys the building first? How quickly do these buildings go down? Do we get an EMP? Oh, Ghost falls. Quanta kills the natural. Is there a Reaver here in the main? There are some Zealots. There are a couple of Zealots here. Boys are being pulled. Quanta trying to hold on. He's running out of units though. Running out of fire. These Zealots are so tanky. Jesus. They take a long time to kill. Likewise, Dragoons are getting picked off, and looks like Quanta, he's defending back at home. He's cleaning this up. 43 SCVs go down. Quanta's economy is in shambles. Barely has an economy to speak of. Classic has saved his probes. Has kept them alive. Natural goes down, but there are so many zealots in production. Jesus, just so many zealots. They're popping out. And Quanta, he cannot deal with this. Yeah, he has to back off. He has to escape. And Quanta, he's just running out of steam, bleeding out so many marauders. Every single marauder, every single marine. Quanta, he loses his army. And Classic, he's on a 2-base economy. Quanta, he's on 1. He's on half a base, really. A third? He's got 9 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Mainly has a medevacs left. Again, a very chaotic base trade. Classic comes out on top. Quanta does have mules, true. Does have mules available. He's got triple orbital. Muling his heart out. If Quanta had also killed this base as well, this third, then I would say that things would have been a little bit more even, but alas, Nexus survived. So did all the probes. This one cannon was the MVP. It was stopping the buyer from really getting any more damage done. The one cannon. Let's see if Quanta can try to bounce back here. Moving out with this drop. War Prism, sorry, the shuttle does confirm. I keep saying Prism, god damn it. But the shuttle does get eyes on this. Fun fact, because we've been casting so much StarCraft Evolution as Classic's going for a ninja base, that has been actually negatively affecting my casting of StarCraft 2. Specifically, now whenever I refer to a medevac, there's been a couple of times when casting like a Evolution League or some StarCraft 2 tournament, where I've said medic, and then I say medic vac, like I add the vac at the very end after I realize I've said the wrong word. That happened like yesterday, the day before. It's been happening. Ay ay ay. Not like this. I think it's only been happening with the medevac, where I say medic, and then I correct myself. Ay ay ay. Not like this. As the ninja base is found, not bad, is denied. Medics isn't that bad. Like, well, it's like I'm casting and then like a drop goes down, and I'm like, oh, he got the medic back. That's been happening. That's been happening. As Quanta is still looking for more expansions. Classic resaturating, building up, getting a death bowl of an army. Storm is done, and Classic he can push in. You can break this position. Earlier there were tanks and bunkers, now there's almost nothing left. Quanta is hoping to force Classic to stay back at home, but Classic doesn't care. He commits. And dives up the ramp. A massive EMP here on the Zealots, but there's just so much more behind this. And Classic is looking to overwhelm. And Quanta just doesn't have enough to keep himself going. Storms are going to be connecting as well. There's so many storms. It's like 6 High Templar. Quanta does land 1 EMP. Oof. But the storms, they still connect. The natural has been broken. Pushing through this choke point can be brutal, but another storm comes in. GG gets called. And Classic takes game number 1. GG. GG. Does take the first game, but it was still a very intense game as well. Classic definitely had some nice micro moments, but likewise Quanta, if you recall, he was able to catch the first shuttle, get the first Reaver kill as well, get his third up and running, get so many probe kills with the Banshee harass as well. It was back and forth. They had their moments. Both players, they had their moments. In the end, GG, well played. Classic takes the lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Meanwhile, shout out to Tater Tutor in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Shout out to Saijo Senpai for receiving the sub. Arigato. Thank you so much, Senpai. Hope you enjoy the sub, hope you enjoy the emotes, hope you enjoy the content and the replay packs as well. We do hand out replay packs to all of our subscribers on Discord, so if you wish, you can join our Discord server. There is a channel where we do hand out those replay packs if you are interested. Otherwise, we're getting into that second game. The Senpai. I used to call War Prism shuttles accidentally like forever. I haven't done the reverse yet. I've yet to call a War Prism a shuttle. I haven't done that yet. Obviously, I've done the opposite. Calling shuttles prisms. I think I've called a Firebat a Hellbat. I think that's happened like once or twice. But here we go. Oh, one that I do struggle with is spine crawlers because they're sunken colonies here. But I've definitely said spines many a time. But here we go. We're getting into our next game and spawning in the top center half here of Sylphid. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing his new team, Streamer Zone. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Quanta. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. Dropship and Medevac. Oh, that's easy. That's a little bit easier, just because they're functionally quite different. I don't think I've called dropships Medevacs yet. Spores are easy because spore colonies and spores are the same. You just call them spores. But here we go. SCV's moving out. SCV is moving out. As a reminder, this is a 3-player spawn map. We do have the top center base, bottom right, and bottom left as well. And we do see Classic actually setting up for a proxy. Does go towards top left. Likewise, Quanta will scout, will confirm, and we'll see if Quanta does manage to count the pylons and get a read on the proxy that's being set up, as a pylon has been placed for Classic. SCV does wander in. And the longer this goes on, the more suspicious Quanta's going to be, because he's like, hold up, where is that second pylon? What exactly is going on? As you can see, Classic, he was supply block. Now he breaks out of the supply block with that pylon. Quanta should be aware that it is missing. Yeah, he's looking for that pylon. Zealot has arrived. Cybercore is about to finish up. And do we go for the proxy Stargate? We do. The Stargate is on the way. Now, I imagine this is just for proxy Oracle to get into the mineral lines and to wreak havoc here in the economy. This could otherwise be proxy Void Ray, only if the probe does... I mean, oh, actually he doesn't know. I just realized. Classic doesn't know where he is. Now he does. He scouts. Classic is looking for the spawn location. Now he's fully aware. Very fortunate. Actually a little bit closer to the proxy. So Classic was gambling. Did gamble very hard. Did work out. Stalker moves out. Quanta setting up back at home. Bunker is done. Academy's on the way for Sim. And here comes that Oracle. Yeah, so just proxy Oracle just to get some economic damage done. If the Marines are out of position, then SCVs, they can be focused down quite quickly. We'll see if Quanta can hold. Can we hold, man? Can we hold? As Classic does get behind the mineral line, the Marines start stepping forward. Up! So far, nice control here by Quanta. Will stutter step down and will focus down the Stalker. The Stalker falls, so does Zealot. Very nice defense. But what about the main? Oh, Marines are in position. Let's go. Quanta. He's ready. Only 3 Marines. We have reinforcements on the way. All 3 Marines go down. 4th Marine has arrived. SCV is now going to be falling. Getting 1, getting 2 SCV kills. Getting a 3rd SCV. And Quanta just getting pulled apart. And Classic is not done. There is a second Oracle on the way that just spawned in. Quanta has to reposition. Likewise, Classic rotating around. Scouting throughout the map. And now we'll expand. And in a way, Classic, his expansion is late. True, this is a late Nexus for Classic, but because of the proxy, because of the SCV kills, I mean, that does make up for it. Does make up for the late expansion. Double Oracle working its way towards the right-hand side. Third Oracle's on the way. Oh my god, very committed here by Classic. Very committed. Turrets are on the way. One in each mineral line. He's boosting in. The turret's not ready. It's barely not ready. Stim is done, but the Marines are being focused down one after the other. Turret does finish up. Reinforcements have arrived. Not bad. They get one, they get two. Two Oracles and two Workers. That was not worth it for Classic. Ay. Did kill a lot of Marines. But that was quite gas intensive here for Classic. Does lose map control down to one Oracle. Has to back up. And now we can settle in. We can settle into our game. Quanta now massing up a stronger army, a stronger force. Classic getting a third, but can he hold on to it? Can he hold on to that third base? Quanta getting his own third CC, does not throw down extra Vaxes or a factory. Getting into a longer macro game. Is still moving out. We'll see what he can accomplish. Classic, he has two Stalkers, two Sentries. This natural base looking quite heavily defended, especially with the overcharge. He should be fine. What about the third, though? That's the question. What about the third base? And does Quanta check? He does rotate, does check the third, does get eyes on it. And he does stim in. Gets a pylon, going for the Nexus. Stalkers, the Ground Army does respond. That's 3 Zealots. And Quanta, I don't know if he can really take the head-on fight. Stimming once again. Oh my god, the medics, they pop off. Nothing dies. Jesus Christ. There we go. Does focus on one of the sentries, catching out Classic, dragging him out of position. Very nice catch here by Quanta. Gets the sentries, gets most of the Zealots. Sims on in, takes down the final Oracle. And Classic caught out in the open. Not with the shield battery, not with the overcharge. Down to 3 Stalkers, down to 2. Soon to be 1. Soon to be none. Yeah, the final Stalker goes down, massive pickoffs. Third base survives, but Quanta, you can always just turn back around and focus it down, or you can just go for the kill and go for the natural. Scans ahead of time. Got the power of the Marine. They're cracked. Zooms in once again, going for the shield battery. Boys are being pulled, they have to be. Probes are falling. Again, down to 2 Stalkers. There's another warp in, it doesn't finish. Ooh, it's denied. But the Colossus does make it out, and Quanta, he has to respect it. Now this means this wasn't quite worth it, or I should say towards the end. He got 3 probes, but doesn't break the natural, and that means the third base survives. Third base does survive. Classic holds. That was very close, though. That was a very close hold. And Classic, he's still up in probes. He's up 10 Workers, has a third base. Quanta's getting his own third on location. Just now landed over. And we're getting into the mid-game. Just a very intense couple of moments here. We're getting into the mid-game. I do want to give the edge to Quanta just because he was able to shut down all the Oracles, and he did trade very well against the Stalker army. Like, the support for the Colossus is barely there. Because so many Stalkers went down, ideally they want to build up over time. You want to preserve your warp-ins. But alas, Classic is down to 4. Down to 4 Stalkers. The Colossus count is getting higher, though. Quanta's getting ready for another push. Taking into tank production. Siege mode is on the way. Quanta moving forward. I don't think he can break the army, but he can try to hit the mineral line. He's rotating over. Scans ahead of time. Gets a shield battery. Oh, let's go. Gets the flare. Was flare researched? Yeah, it was. Was researched? What did it connect with? That I'm less certain of. Quanta backs up. So if I recall correctly, I believe Flare reduces the vision of a unit to 1. Of course, it can use the vision of other units. But here we go. All the Colossus, they do engage. Oh! Massive volleys here on the Marines. Forcing back the army, getting the tank. Not bad. Oh, the tank. Get out of here. Oof. Yeah, massive pick off. Tank does go down. Also does stop detection for detector. True. It does blind the detectors. There is the one tank on the high ground. Quanta does hold, but he bled out a lot of units here in the retreat. As Classic as gain map control, Quanta forced to be back at home, building up more tanks, taking a more defensive stance. Lockdown is being researched. Do love to see it. Lockdown is on the way. Getting into ghost production. Now, we have seen the power of Lockdown as well. They can completely just shut down a heavy tech army like this, like Colossus. Man, you thought disables were good. You thought interference matrix was good. No. Lockdown, man. They're crazy. Bunker goes down. Oof. Does fall to the Colossus. How many ghosts are out? Just one ghost for now. 4 more ghosts on the way. They need time for energy as well. And Classic is pushing in. Yeah, the ghosts are not ready. Classic going for the kill. Jesus, with 4 Colossus. Zealots get into the mineral line. The ghost is still building up energy. At the same time, Quanta going for the drop into the mineral line. 15 SCVs going down. Oh, Jesus, the entire mineral line does fall. And the ghosts are being zoned away by the Zealots. The ghosts, they want to get on top of the Colossus, but they can't. Yeah, so brutal losses here for Quanta. The ghosts, they're falling one after the other. Brutal losses. And now there's no answer. That was the answer to the Colossus, and they all go down. There's the first lockdown, but it's only one ghost. Oof. Again, imagine if every Colossus was locked down. Even the Archons as well. There was like 8 ghosts. But it looks like Classic has done it. He breaks the natural. Pushing into the main, getting on top of the production. And Quanta is just locked out. He's just locked out of his own main. He cannot respond. Classic, he just makes his way further in. Gets into the mineral line. Quanta coming in from behind. Oh, but that's a brutal choke point. Pushing into 3 Colossus is just not going to work. He just cannot. There's another lockdown. He wants in. Let him in, Bobby. Let him in. He can't. And the main base, it has been compromised. It's 25 SCV kills, the production, the tech, it's all going down. And Quanta has to go for a big counterattack, but this is a late realization from Quanta. A late response. And Classic, he can always recall. Unlike his brutal counterpart, which needs an Arbiter, I mean, recall is available. Quanta steaming across the map. There's the recall. Classic is in position. Oof. And Quanta just can't do much against this. That's 5 Colossus. Jeez. There's the 6th on the way. He's crazy. And again, Quanta, he had the army to deal with this. He was just out of position, right? If you remember, like, it was 8 or 9 ghosts that were locked in the main, and they just could not engage. Oof. Yeah, the Colossus wipes are brutal. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take the series at 2-0. Will take down Quanta, advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Can't lock down the Archons and Mechanical. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, just the Colossus. GG, well played. But again, Quanta, unfortunately, he just needed a couple more moments, a couple more seconds to actually get those ghosts out, to actually get them with the main army. Unfortunately, just because of the composition as well, he had no dropships. He had no way to try to either ferry the ghosts to the other side or ferry the main army to the other side instead. So his army was just completely cut off, was split off, and GG. GG, well played. Classic does take it. But a shout out to Quanta because he was able to hold his own, and he definitely did have his own moments in this series as well, both in Game 1 and in Game 2. Regardless, GG, well played. We have our 2 finalists. It's going to be a best of 5 grand finals between Classic and 3 Point. Let's go. We have our finals. Do just need a moment to set that up. as vetoes are underway. Again, 3 Point has been patiently waiting this entire time. I'm sure tuning into some of those matches, tuning into some of Classic's games. Brutal Buy just melts the Colossus. Yeah. I mean, as we mentioned, again, a lot of it did come down to, unfortunately, the Ghost just couldn't be a part of the fight, right? I'm sure the fight could have gone very heavily in favor of Quanta if he was able to get them out. If he was able to get them out. GG. GG, well played. Meanwhile, we are just getting ready here for those finals. We might just go on a short break just because our players, they do need some time to get their vetoes going. They do need some time, so we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we will have our final series of the night. See you guys in a couple of minutes. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of StarCraft Evolution League number 6. We have 2 players remaining here. We have a Protoss, we have a Zerg, we have a PvZ between Classic and 3 Point. Also, I was, of course, notified previously that there was a patch released a couple of days ago. I have yet to actually peruse the patch notes. Just now going over it, there were so many changes. Jeez, so many changes during the patch. The patch was on the 8th. On the 8th. Oh. But here we go. Regardless, we're getting into the grand finals, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Troy, we have the Korean Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player from South Korea, representing Hyper 1. It is 3 Point. So just changing the color. I got you. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamma going. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat as Predictions are open for the next couple of minutes. Now, as a reminder, Troy is a 4-player spawn map, so we do see Classic. He goes for the diagonal scout first. He is looking for the spawn location, goes diagonally, and it looks like he's rallied towards the north instead. So, unfortunately, Classic, he's going to have a very late scout of where 3-point is, which means 3-point's build is going to be kept hidden to Classic. 3-point just going hatch first. Hatch pool opener here by 3-point, nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. We have seen 3-point cheese, and I mean, we saw him be hyper aggressive earlier against Darkest, if you recall. So he's willing to be aggressive, but not this time, not this game. Not this time. Here we go. But yeah, I was just providing a link to the Wikipedia page for StarCraft Evolution in the chat. It is there. But there's just too much to go over. Some very quick updates here. For those that are curious, the patch did hit a couple of days ago, like 2 days ago at this point. Looks like lockdown duration was reduced, which makes sense. Lockdown was broken. I mean, it's crazy. Lockdown lasts for so long, and still lasts a long time. It was reduced from 30 seconds to 27. Likewise, dropships are cheaper, which makes sense as well because dropship play is very uncommon, just in general, just as a unit to build, to invest into. So I'll definitely be having a look at those patch notes a little bit more in detail later on. But for now, we can just focus on our matches, focus on our game. Classic did open up double gateway into double zealot, delayed Nexus as a result, and Classic, he's already here. He's already across the map with his 2 zealots. Oh my god! He's gonna knock down the gas. He's crazy. we spoke about this. Zealots have arrived, and that's gonna be Classic's win condition. The boys are drilled behind the zealots, going for a surround, and workers are gonna be falling. It's gonna be 2, 3, 4 drones already. Sorry, 3 drone kills so far. Going for the queen, going for the mineral line, and 3-point is in danger as more zealots are filing in. Again, Classic has been trading well. Sure, he wants the queen. One more shot. The queen survives. Just barely. The queen lives. Lings are trading against the zealots, but that's a lot of Lings going down. Another fresh zealot has arrived. Clutch transfuse saves the queen. And 3-point holds. Does cost him 5 drones. 3-point. He is down in workers. He's down in economy. Classic, he gets his natural up and running. But at least 3-point does not lose his natural. That could have been game. That could have been game then and there. Spine Crawler is on the way. Ooh, queens overextend. Creep is denied. Uh-oh. And that's Spine Crawler. That's a kill, not a cancel. 3-point is not out of the woods yet. No transfuse. There is no transfuse available. Zealots take it into the mineral line. Gonna be forced back. The queen does live. And 3-point. Sorry, Classic is still making more zealots. He's still not stopping. He's not slowing down. He's crazy. Pushing forward once again. There's still no transfuse. He needs a couple more seconds. 4th queen does come in from the main. Oh my god. Yeah, the queens are holding. Classic being forced back. Now, just as a quick reminder as to what Classic was doing initially, if these assimilators fall, then it does wall off. It doesn't fully wall off, but it does create a very narrow choke point that Classic was hoping to make use of. Alas, he was forced out. He was forced back. If Classic maintained this position, that would have been game. That most likely would have been game then and there. So Classic, clearly, he's got builds. Clearly. Getting into 5, soon to be 6 gateways as the 2-base all-in. Straight up 2-base all-in out of Classic. Charges on the way. Overlord does confirm at least some of the gateways in the main. And you can see 3-point is walling off. He's walling up, he's walling off. Second Spine Crawl in production. No additional queens, which is concerning. Just 4 queens so far. That's just a massive wave of zealots, though. They're getting top of the spine. We do have a transfuse. There's 2 more left. 2 more transfuse. Down to 1. Down to 0. That's the final transfuse. Spine Crawler goes down, but 3-point did buy some time. Now as the boys have to be pulled. Zealots say take down one of the queens. Another clutch transfuse towards the end. Down to 3 queens. Down to 2. 2 queens left. And it looks like Classic, he may just have too much. It's still close. It's so close. Reinforcements on the way. 3-point he's holding. At a cost, though. He gets us around. It locks down the zealots. 3-point he holds at the cost of 9 drones. Look at the economy. 3-point is down to 28 workers, and Classic has 40. And Classic has map control. Classic, if he wanted to, he could expand. He could take another expansion. Could take a third. 3-point re-walling. Throwing down Evo chambers. Trying to fully wall off, but the Zealots are going to knock down the Evo chamber. 3-point is being too greedy. He's teched into a lair into mutas. Far too greedy. Taking into mutas. Otherwise, he could have roaches. He would 100% have roaches right now, but he chooses to skip them. Too greedy. GG gets called. And Classic takes game number 1. GG. 3-point being so overconfident. Again, 3-point had a choice. He could have thrown down a Roach Warren or a Bailey Nest, most likely Roach Warren. Could have gone into Roach Tech, but he chose not to. He invested into a Lair, into Gases, into a Spire, into Mutatech. Far too greedy there by 3-point. He thought he had held, but Classic, he just committed. He just doubled down, 2-base all in at a Classic, and 3-point he gets caught with his pants down. Does get caught with his pants down. GG, well played. Whew. Classic takes the lead. And we'll see how 3-point adapts from here. We'll see how he does adjust. Again, I want to believe that 3-point he can take it to Classic, but we'll see. Still the early rounds of the finals. As game 2 is going to be on Monty Hall. Let's go! A wild map. We'll get into it. But Monty Hall, of course, is a pseudo island-based map. They aren't necessarily islands, but it's kind of like a MOBA map, you know, like there are 3 lanes. There are 3 lanes that you have to gain access to from your own main base. There are mineral walls blocking them all off, so you have to mine through the minerals. You gain access to the lane, but you can't really maneuver between the lanes without something like a shuttle or dropships or dropper lords. Things can get very chaotic as a result. If you get caught out of position, I mean, that could be game. Could be game then and there. Here we go, we're settling in. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Monty Hall, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. Oh, going for a 12 pool. You have my attention. Going for a 12 pool, very aggressive here, representing Team Hyper 1. Down in the series, it is a 3-point. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player leading the series 1-0, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. So 3-point is going for the 12 pool. Now, as I did just mention, we have mineral walls. There are mineral walls here blocking off these areas, blocking off these attack paths, and 3-point, he has to commit here to mine through them. Now, they are 30 mineral patch walls, so as you can see, it takes 6 workers or 6 trips to fully mine through one of these patches. And he's going to have to do the same elsewhere as well. Also, 3-point is gambling quite hard. He doesn't know the location that Classic has mined himself. He has mined here towards the south. He's coming in with a probe scout. Oh, and Classic will confirm. That is a little bit unfortunate. Boys are being pulled. The drone is here. The probe is here. The probe sees. And Classic knows. Classic is now fully aware. That was awkward. It's fully aware what's going on. Classic walling off, buying time. Throws down the pylon. And the Lings, they barely get surface area. They do break out, but it's all about buying time at this point. Hatchery gets placed. Lings are flooding across the map. Classic back at home. He does wall off. Oof. Now, the reason why all those boys were pulled was because I'm pretty sure that 3-point was planning to mine through these middle patches and commit to the all-in. Little does he know that this is exactly where Classic set up. And Zeld is ready. There's a probe behind this in case the drones arrive. And the boys are being pulled. The boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing for 3-point. It's going to be a short finals. The boys are coming. They're coming. And the longer this goes on, the worse it is for 3-point. He's got a second, third pylon on the way. Classic does. Shield battery behind this. Soon to be an overcharge. Nexus is finishing up. The probe leaves. Oh, we need that probe. We need to get ready here to fully wall off as the workers have arrived. And 3-point, he does drone drill past the Zealots. Not the best drone drilling. There we go. Does get behind. Shield battery is ready. Overcharge gets popped. Classic holds. Classic, he does hold. I mean, the drones, they're doing what they can. But GG gets called, and Classic will take a 2-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. A very risky build out of 3-point, going for a 12-pool drone pool. But again, 3-point, he was unlucky in the sense that he was going for the all-in at the same lane that Classic was expanding. Because of that, the probe scout saw everything. Usually, if they were going for different lanes and different locations, then Classic's drones probe scout would not have seen anything. Would not have confirmed. Would not have seen the lings, the drones, the attempted all-in. Would have been a much later scout for Classic, and Classic would not have had the sim city that he had already set up at that kind of natural location. So it was a big gamble there for 3-point. It didn't pay off in the end. And now we are getting into game number 3. It's going to be on ley lines. Here we go. And again, it's been a very chaotic series so far. Game 1, Classic all-in. Game 2, 3-point all-ins. Game 3, do we all-in each other or do we macro, right? What's it going to be? Who will all-in this time? Who will macro this time? As they have been taking turns. But so far has gone in favor of Classic. And here we go. This is, of course, one of the newer maps in the map pool, or still yet to be in the map pool. It's in the PTR. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. They keep changing colors. God damn it. South Korean Protoss. The blue Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is a Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player representing Team Hyper 1. It is 3-point. This is a Pro Classic? Yes. Yes, it is. I mean, there are a handful of pro-Korean players that do compete in StarCraft Evolution. Classic is one of them. Shin is the other. I would say that Classic and Shin are the two notable SC2 Korean players that do compete in both. That actively compete in both. When it comes to the Korean scene. We do see Classic once again playing 2-gate. 2-gate opener out of Classic, very aggressive. Now, we saw this in game 1 on Troy, and this led into a 2-base all-in. It also led into 3-point cutting corners, being greedy in the defense, and he got punished for it. I'll be honest, if 3-point had taken it more seriously, if he had played it safe and gone for a Roach Warren, 3-point defends game 1, and maybe even wins game 1, has a higher chance of winning game 1. But again, he was just being a little bit too greedy. He was caught out. And we'll see how things do differ here in game 3. We'll see if Classic commits his heart, as Zelts are rallying across the map. Again, it's going to be on 3-point to survive this, to defend. To stabilize thereafter. Now, unlike Troy, there are no gas guys just to try to, no simulators, I should say, to try to break down, and there's no wall. Oh. Zealot moves out towards the left-hand side. Does avoid the Overlord for as long as possible. But there we go, the Overlord does confirm, and now 3-point is aware. He's aware of the 2-gate opener, he knows. Zelts are moving out, back at home 3-point, he throws down the Spine Crawler immediately. Queens are on the way, Lings are on the way. 3-point taking this seriously. But again, is this just an opener into a macro game, or does Classic go for another all-in? As the Zelts are amassing. Second gas being taken. Classic pushing in. Three-point just buying time. Spine Crawler is now done. And the Queens are ready. And 3-point, he's going to be fine here. Does hold. At least initially. More Queens are on the way. 3-point, he's droning up behind this. He's walling up, and you can see 3-point having a much more comfortable time this time here in game 3. So far, at least. Spine Crawler is yet to be powered. Does end up rooting. Does repower in time. Meanwhile, Classic is still making more Zealots. Citadel is on the way. That should be for charge for Zealot legs. And there it is, this time 3-point, Roach Warren. Now, I would not have been opposed to hiding the Roach Warren, like behind the mineral line or something, to try to lure Classic in. Classic does get eyes on the Roach Warren as well, and now he knows that he's on a bit of a timer. Now, purely Zealot isn't going to be as effective as it was in Game 1. As 3-point is working towards Roach production. And taking extra gases. Meanwhile, Classic, he is still committing. So, a little bit stubborn here by Classic. I mean, it could still work, don't get me wrong, but Classic is just, he's committing to the all-in. Charge on the way, additional gateways, so far getting up to 4 gates. If you remember last game, or last time, in Game 1, he went up to 6. Went up to 6 gateways. Off of 2 bases. Still working his way there. Oh, Templar Archives. Okay, so we are transitioning. I do like this. I do like this here for Classic. So he's only going 4 gate charge into Templar Archives, into Storm, Archon production. He's taking up. Classic is taking extra gases. It's going to be on 3-point to confirm. He does get eyes on the Templar Archives, he knows. At this point, he's aware. Now the question becomes, does a 3-point go for a 2-base all-in and try to break Classic before Storm finishes, or does 3-point take a third and expand from here? What's it going to be? Does he try to counter all-in, or does he macro? That's 2 more gates. He's still going up to 6. 6 gates set up on 2 bases. Storm is being researched. Again, I believe the Overlord should be able to see this. More roaches are building up. Wings, they try to look down the Zealots. They at least attempt to. Roach speed finishing up as well. And 3-point, he will soon break out. Yeah, spreading creep. And 3-point is not droning. So it's 2-base all-in versus initially a 2-base all-in. Now Classic is expanding, and I believe 3-point can break this. It's going to be on 3-point to deny this third and to punish Classic. We'll see if he can. Storm is halfway done. Roaches there to engage. So far, decent kiting. A couple of roaches are going down. Not the worst trades from Classic. And Storm is going to finish. Storm will finish. How many High Templar? 4 High Templar gathering energy as we speak. That's going to be 4 Storms. 3 when he sees. He knows. Ideally, he wants to snipe at one of those High Templar. I can't get close. Can barely not get close. Oh, there's the first Storm. Oh my god. The roaches, they take a lot of hits. They take a lot of damage. There's a second Storm. There's 2 left. There's 1 left. Oh my god. A brutal Storm on the ramp. There's the final Storm. And does that 3-point have enough to keep pushing? There's no Storms remaining. Archon's morphing in. Shield battery's out of energy. Ravager goes down. 3-point being forced back. Ravager, another Ravager gets caught. I mean, 1 Ravager left. It looks like Classic, he should have enough here. It looks like it's going on a little bit too long. We'll see. I mean, nice pickoffs on the Zealots. Going for the Archon. Yeah, more roaches have arrived. 3-point is expanding, but he's not droning. He's not droning. He's still making mass roach. He knows he wants to end the game here and now. He's looking to end the game. And without any more Storms, I mean, what can Classic do? He's almost got 1 Storm left in him. But nice spread here against the Zealots. Roaches, they pop off. Classic needs a couple more seconds. 73, 70, up, 74. Up. He has it. He has a Storm. He gets 1. But that's all he had. Just the 1 Storm. And Roaches, they overwhelm. They overwhelm the 3rd, pushing into the natural. Taking down the Dragoons. There's 6 Dragoons left. Now from here, 3-point could just kill the expansion and try and drone from this point forward, but we'll see. For now, he's still making more roaches. Okay, drone production has begun for 3-point. Stutter stepping forward. Ooh, taking down a lot of Dragoons. And just zoning Classic away. Knocking down the expansion. And again, this time 3-1, he took the initial Zealot aggression seriously. Didn't try to tech up, didn't try to rush into mutas like last time. No. Just very safe play here at a 3-point. Has led to this game state. We have some defensive Dark Templar. Let's go. No Overseer. There we go. Overseer's on the way. 3-point, he does spot the DTs. Classic holds. Does hold on. Does survive. But again, from here, all 3-point has to do is drone. Just drone up, saturate the third, get a fourth just for Larva, and max out on Roach Ravager. Just focus on maxing out on Roach Ravager. Is getting into Tumbling Claw Roaches. Is there a Robo? Actually, don't think so. Yeah, there's no Robo here for Classic, so he has no detection. I don't think it's necessary, but I mean, regardless, like, 3-point is in the driver's seat. He defends his third. Moving out across the map. Yeah, the Tumbling Claw Roaches, they are waddling in. And again, there is 0 detection. They split up between the bases. There we go. They unburrow. They hit the natural. They hit the main. The army's out of position. And Classic's all in. Oh, the High Templar. Up. Big Storm. Oh, my God. Yeah, both storms connect. But the bases are under fire. Probes are falling left and right. And time is on 3-point side. He just backs off. Regenerates his HP. Robo's on the way. But we're just so far away from detection. Aye. Yeah, 3-point is just punishing the tech of Classic. Roach is going down. At least in the main. Roach is popping off in the natural. Main army's moving out. Now fully topped up. Some nice trades here for Classic, picking up some roaches. 3-point did not fully saturate his, or did not get a fourth, I should say. Joining up to only 48. But it's fine, he still has a better economy anyway. There are some defensive storms. Oh my God. Storms are popping up. 3-point pulls away. And Classic will soon just have to all in. Right? The one chance he has is to just fully all in, send everything across the map. He does have cannons now in the mineral lines. That does help. He's got a cannon at the natural, soon to be a cannon in the main. Observatory's on the way for the Observer. DTs are denied. I do still think that 3-point could have been a little bit greedier when it came to expanding and droning. But regardless, he's still fine. Like, he's still comfortable. Still looking quite comfortable. Even just spreading creep, denying bases. And this is it. It's all or nothing for Classic. Now, he does have a lot of storms. And it could potentially take a fight. Especially if the Zerg player overextends. Classic still playing it slow. Resto is 3-point. Classic pushing right through the center is spotted by the Changelings. 3-point catching reinforcements. That means that 3-point's not at home to defend. Uh-oh. Lurkers are on the way. Classic does hit the third. And we're going for the base trade. Oh, the DTs! They're doing what they can. Third base goes down. Same time pushing right through towards the natural. And we are committed to the base trade, but there's Lunkers back at home to defend. How do you push into the Lunkers back? Not like this. Dragoon's trying to force that way forward, pushing into Lurker range. Oh my God. And it's brutal. The choke point is insane here. Trying to force his way through. So many Dragoons going to be going down. And GG gets called. A 3-point. He does start the comeback. He takes game number 3. and puts a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. Again, game one, the reason why Classic won game one was because 3-Point wasn't really taking it seriously. Here you saw what happens when he does respect the 2-gate opener and the Mass Zealot. This time went for the Roach Warren, did play very defensively, wasn't really taking up too heavily either. Just really safe play. Really safe play out of 3-Point. And does snowball out of control from there. And does punish the committed play out of Classic. GG. GG, well played. We will not have a 3-0, we will not have a one-sided finals. It is going to be more of a back and forth, but the pressure is still on 3-Point. He is not there yet. I would love to see an ace match, I would love to see a game 5, but the pressure is still on 3-Point as we're getting ready for our next map for Whispers of Gold. Another PTR map. It's going to be another PTR map. And we'll see who takes it. We'll see if we can get to game 5. I'm hoping for an ace match. Regardless of how this goes, I would love to see a game 5. Checking the vetoes. Ooh, I wasn't quite able to spot them. Do we have an island map? Hold on. I think we do. We haven't seen it yet. It's, yeah, near Isles. Take us there, Pappy. We haven't seen it yet. One day. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Oh my god, going for a 12 pool! Let's go. Going for the 12 pool. Currently down in this series, let's see if we can bounce back. It's, for Team Hyper 1, it is a 3-Point. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is a Classic. Here we go. Classic, of course, leading the series 2-1. Winamass, one more game is all Classic needs, and we'll see if he can survive the cheese of 3-Point. Here we go, as the boys are being pulled, and it's all or nothing. The boys, they're moving out. Ling's going to be coming in to reinforce behind this as well. And one way or another, the game is about to end. Either 3-Point kills Classic or he dies trying. Oh, he scouts! Does confirm. Classic knows. Classic is fully aware. Going to be walling up here on the low ground. Lings are on the way. I mean, these drones, because they were pulled so early, they arrived so fast. There's the full wall. We have 3 gates, 3 gateways being thrown down. It's going to be a delayed nexus in favor of just fully walling off. Meanwhile, one of the gates is going to be exposed. Drones are going for it. Zealot's being chronoed out. And it looks like the Zealot should be able to pop out in time. Yeah, the Zealot will spawn in. Lings are on the way. So it is just going to be the one Zealot here for Classic. Backup gateways in production. First gateway goes down. 3-Point, he does. Oh, try to dive in. Does mineral walk past, gets through. Oh, but there's a pylon. Aye. Pylon gets thrown down. Boys are being pulled. Gateways are done. Classic, though, he can't afford a Zealot. There we go. Zealot's on the way. Lings, they bust in. And now we engage. Now it's all or nothing. The one Zealot putting in a lot of work. Doesn't get surrounded. The probes are falling, though. Zealot barely goes down, and it looks like the Lings, they come out on top just barely. But there's more Zealots on the way. And they're gonna pop in. Oh, don't get surrounded. The surround. Lings are coming from behind. Probes are being pulled to try to survive. The Zealot will fall. And what does it come down to? GG gets called. Barely enough. Classic down to 1 probe remaining, and 3-Point forces the ace match. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. I was a little bit concerned when Classic was able to fully wall off, but because of how heavily he committed, because he pulled workers a little bit earlier as well, we saw that Classic could not afford another Zealot for quite some time. He was stuck on one Zealot for a long time there. The second Zealot was delayed. With that, 3-Point was able to barely break through, got a surround as well, and was able to win it then and there. GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 5. We have an ace match. Let's go. It's going to be on Sylphid. Unfortunately, no Neo Isles. Unfortunately, you know, the best map in the map pool not going to be played. Feels bad. For good reason. It's fine. Here we go. And we are getting into that final game. As a heads up, Hyper 1 is going to be playing StarCraft 2 Zerg, and Classic will be playing Brood War Protoss. Now, we have seen, whenever Classic plays Brood War Protoss, we have seen a lot of 2-gate openers. I'm curious if he's willing to do that this time as well. We'll see. We shall see, as this is a 3-player spawn map, so it can be quite risky going for something like an all-in. Can be quite risky. Oh, that is a very different color. Here we go. And spawning in the top portion of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Teal Zerg, representing Team Hyper 1, forcing the ace match, bringing it back. Ace 12 pulling. Going for another 12 pull. It is 3 points. Can I fix up the color? I got you. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Twisted Minds. It is Classic. Now, the Gamba is real. Remember, this is a 3-player spawn map. No one knows where they are. 3 Point does not know where his opponent... Oh, taking early gases. Interesting. So 12 pull into early gases. Overlord will confirm, though. This is very fortunate for 3 Point. He did gamble. He gambled correctly by scouting the left-hand side, and he will get eyes on the 2-gate opener. Once again, 2-gate play. We've seen this time and time again from Classic whenever he plays Brutal Protoss against Zerg. 2-gate opener, Mass Zealot into an all-in. But against something like a 12 pull into a Roach Rush, ooh, I do favor 3 Point here. I'm going to be favoring 3 Point. Probe Scout does come in. Classic gets lucky as well. He scouts towards the north. He does confirm. And he does get eyes on the Roach Warren as well. Classic is fully aware of what's going on. Everyone knows. 3 Point sees the 2-gate. Classic sees the fast gases and the Roach Warren. And how does Classic respond? Because of the 2-gate opener, it means the Cybercore is going to be later here. And I'm not sure the Zealots can get much done. We'll see. Roach production has already begun. Roaches are on the way. And what I'm really curious about is the timing of the Dragoons, basically. Because we only have Zealots, the Cybercore is still in production. Roaches are going to be moving out. And yeah, like how quickly are we going to be able to get range-based units to defend? Second pylon to make sure everything stays powered. Cybercore now done. There we go. First Dragoons on the way. And the Roaches, they're coming. It looks like the Dragoons, it looks like they might finish. Yeah, they will finish just in time. Just in time. Ravagers are morphing in. The Dragoons, they will pop out. Shield batteries on the way. Now, the gateways are going to be very exposed. So, 3 Point, he can just chip away at the gateways themselves. There we go. The Dragoons have arrived. And here come the Ravagers. Now, the Overlord does spot the Dragoons as well, so 3 Point knows. He's back. He's hiding. Oh, he's hiding. Gets a first shot off. Does get the first couple of shots off. But the Overlord is under fire, and the Overlord does go down. Massive pick off 3 Point. He gets supply blocked. Yeah, brutal supply block here for 3 Point. He's going for the Dragoons. 1 Ravager goes down. Very nice target firing here at the Classic. Now he's up to 3 Dragoons. Shield battery saves it. GG gets called. It's just too much, and Classic will survive. He will hold and take the series 3-2, becoming this week's SEL or StarCraft Evolution League champion. GG. GG, well played. Classic having such crisp control, pulling back the Dragoons, sniping the Overlord, supply blocking 3 Point was brutal. Likewise, not losing a single Dragoon there. Very nicely done, very nicely controlled out of Classic. GG. GG, well played. I was very concerned with just how many chances both players were taking, but as I mentioned, very important that Classic was able to scout straight away. Classic was able to scout, able to confirm that there was an all-in coming because he was, of course, checking the northern base first, was able to confirm what was happening, and able to respond as well. Went for a delayed Nexus, went for a faster Cybercore, into a second pylon, into Dragoons. GG. GG, well played. The Gamba was real. For everyone involved. And with that, congratulations here to Classic. Went all the way to the ace match. Was very close, was very clutch, but does go the way of Classic in the end. Congratulations. My condolences to 3 points. I mean, it could have gone either way. Could have gone either way here, especially in that ace match as well. And with that, Classic is this week's champion. Congratulations. Now, I believe both Classic and 3 Point are confirmed for the main event. Confirmed for the full championship. For those that are curious, these are bi-weekly tournaments, and throughout this season of StarCraft Evolution, players have been accumulating points. They have been accumulating points over time to be invited to the end of season full championship, which is going to be in a couple weeks time. Now, we won't be casting it live. We will be casting it via replays. So there's going to be a replay cast like one day later, or like a couple of hours later at some times as well. So we'll be getting into that. We'll be going over those replays after the fact, as I believe there is another English caster confirmed to cover it live. So we won't be casting it live. We'll be casting it via replays instead. So that is going to be the plan here for the CranKy Ducklings. Otherwise, hope you'll enjoy yourselves. Hope you'll have enjoyed yourself. Hope you enjoy the upcoming StarCraft Evolution Championship as well. That is going to be starting next week, or I believe next weekend. And we'll be covering it over on this channel a little bit later as well. Meanwhile, when it comes to our next broadcast on the channel, it is going to be in less than 24 hours. We're going to be casting the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 72. That is going to be, again, in less than 24 hours at 6 p.m. KST. We're going to be live with our open StarCraft 2 tournament. It is open to all regions, all shapes, all sizes. We usually get regulars like Geralt, like Christiana, like Bjorn, Nightmare, Shin, Astrea, and Trigger do show up from time to time as well. So we'll see who does rock up for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Again, that's going to be tomorrow. Day after that is going to be the Wardy TV Monday, followed by the Pigoso Monday, Alima League, and all of our regular events as well. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft over the next month on a daily basis. We have one free day on the 13th. We have one free day currently for now, and I think one free day on the 27th as well. So we have 2 free days, but outside of that, we're casting every day. At least once a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 times a day. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft, leading into Home Story Cup at the end of the month. Home Story Cup is going to be on the 29th of November. So make sure you mark your calendars for that, and for StarCraft Evolution as well. Mark your calendars. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. If you want to follow the CranKy Ducklings, you can do so via our social medias. You can do so via the chat, !socials in the chat. You get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. And again, we have plenty of content here on the channel. We do also stream on YouTube at the same time. So we stream on Twitch, we stream on YouTube. The exception to that is Alima League, that is streamed over on Chijijik, that is streamed over on the Korean platform instead. And again, I do apologize for not streaming on my personal channel this week, just because I was very busy rendering all of the Alima League VODs. I mentioned it earlier, but because Alima League is not on Twitch, because it's on a different platform, exporting the VODs is a longer process, longer than normal, and because of that, my PC was just rendering VODs for the past 3 days. Like I can't do it. I can't do anything when it's rendering VODs. So it's just been hard at work. So I haven't been able to stream on my personal channel, but that should change next week, hopefully. Whenever I'm not casting, usually I'm streaming. Just some like cheeky ladder sessions, maybe some Final Fantasy, maybe some other games. If you're interested, you can follow me there at light_VIP on Twitch. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Our next tournament is going to be, again, our next cast is in less than 24 hours. We'll see you then for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Otherwise, thank you so much, and we'll see you when we see you. See you next time. Until then, hasta luego. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll see who is live at the moment. We'll send everyone over to someone. I see Coco is streaming. Hatsu is streaming. I know Wardy is casting his PTR tournament. True. Is casting his PTR event. Who else is live at the moment? Bratok is streaming. Hatsu is streaming. Hatsu is casting. Okay. We could send everyone over to Dave. I think Dave he subscribed earlier, so could send people over to Dave. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, baby, ciao. Hasta luego. Ciao.